Good evening, friends, and welcome to the usual Sunday Q&A called Dazed After Dark. Real quick on the game, so to speak, if you're new here. So this is where we hang out at the end of the week. We take up any questions that came up during the week on this week's videos, questions that are in the comment to start off with if we don't have any, and basically anything that's on your mind. And since the drama is all the rage, if you guys want to take that up, that's fine. If you want to avoid it, that's fucking fine by me too. Because we kind of covered that anyways in the last stream, and you guys that have been following the channel know we've been kind of discussing the ex-Scientology community a lot already. So there's not really anything new to say, but we can take that up if you want. Let's see, retired red. I've been on my Okay. We got Cricket in the background, by the way. She's just throwing up things to say hi to people and stuff. Creepy, happiest of birthday philosophy. Oh, happy birthday, philosophy. And we were actually going to start out with a question. The reason we're late, philosophy, it's your fault, is we were going to take up a question that you have where I promised you I would take it up as a first question on this Sunday's Q&A, but I couldn't find the fucking thing. So I'm just going to have to try to riff off of it or remember it. But anyways, guys, it's a party game. So whenever you ask a question and or comment and the word Xenu / or Marlene is in there, we take a hit of our favorite poison. Mine, as you guys know, is weed. If you want to drink, take a sip of coffee or water or just not partake at all. That's sort of the game. And the goal is to keep going until I fall with my head on my computer. So as you can see there, I'm going to remove this thing so it's not too annoying. But if you ask questions, it helps. Or if you put question marks, it helps Cricket to, in the background, who's modding to find the questions, and then we can throw them out. So let's go ahead and remove that. And we'll remove this as well. Okay, so since I don't see any questions yet, I wanted to start off with what philosophy was talking about. And basically she asked, in the last one, we were describing how Scientology is kind of a new age cult in the way of thought creates reality. They had this thing called postulates in Scientology. And there's different levels of intention you can have on making a postulate. And a postulate basically is the idea that to really be a Scientologist, to really be a high-level OT, to really show that you have your powers, one of the main things is to be able to make a postulate happen. So in other words, you think of something and the speed at which you can make it actually manifest in the physical universe is sort of how high you are on their tone scale or how high you're operating as a operating thetan, which is defined as a being who is at cause knowingly and willingly over matter, energy, space, time, form, and event, both subjective and objective. So you're like a god. That's a long introduction to philosophy. She wanted me to answer, go more into that. What are some of the actual gains and how did I bullshit myself that I got said gains on the bridge? And particularly, what are the OT levels about and kind of what was going on in my brain? So until we get any questions coming out here, I just want to riff on this and let's start on that. So here we go. I hope this makes some sense too, because this gets a little complex. But stand by. I have a million tabs open. Should we go into certain areas tonight? So where the hell is it? Okay, let me move my ass down here. So this is the bridge to total freedom. I call it the bridge to total amnesia because just like everything in Scientology, if you flip it on its head, you get the accurate thing of what it's doing. So you can see here at the bottom, they have the introductory services. And then these are the various levels right here on the right. And then over here at the far, or on the left, where you can see purification rundown, happiness rundown, ARC, straight wire, etc. And over here on the right, you have the ability gained that you're promised for each of these levels. So let me blow it up a little bit so you can actually see it. Now we're going to just blaze through this real quick because I don't want to spend forever on this, but the very bottom thing that you do here is the purification rundown. That's their pseudo drug rehabilitation program, so to speak. We've talked about that many times on the channel. And as you can see here, the gain is freedom from the stimulative effects of drug residuals and other toxins. And then the next level that they have here is the TRs and objectives. Then they have the Scientology drug rundown, the happiness rundown, ARC straight wire, etc. So let me just show you what some of the gains are, starting with the grades, and then I'm going to try to explain to you what was going on and show you some of the questions that are asked. Actually, let me go to an even easier way to do this. Okay, this will be much easier. So check it out. These are the abilities that you're promised, and they're on the aforementioned grade chart that I just showed you. The objectives, the end phenomena is you're in present time and able to control and put order in the environment. Do you notice how vague these things are, by the way? How are you going to actually be able to say that you did gain that? So the vagary allows you to attest to them, and you do various processes until you finish the processes, and you are to conclude when they read back what win you're supposed to have, that when you finish the objectives, indeed, you can stay in present time and you're able to control and put order in the environment. Again, it's so vague, you can see that it's open to interpretation. So philosophy, that's part of how you bullshit yourself on the games and make sense of this. The next one is ARC straight wire. That's knows he or she won't get any worse. Grade 0, ability to communicate freely with anyone on any subject. Grade 1, check this out. Ability to recognize the source of problems and make them vanish. Grade 2, relief from the hostilities and sufferings of life. Again, that's vague. How do you know if you've achieved that or not? Grade 3 is freedom from upsets of the past and ability to face the future. And grade 4, moving out of fixed conditions and gaining ability to do new things. Let's take this one right here. Grade 0, ability to communicate freely with anyone on any subject. Basically, philosophy, I guess we got kind of low lighting here, but we don't need to fix that. Basically, philosophy, as we've talked about, you're in a light hypnotic, sometimes a deep hypnotic trance when you're running these processes. I'll show you what some of the questions are because they're just the same damn thing of the processes that you run. And then when you get to the end, like for example, when I finished grade 0, I was in an electrified state. The wins, i.e. the hypnosis highs, are building and building and building, generally speaking, each of the sessions that you do. So by the time you do 40 or 50 sessions, maybe 60 or 70, and you finish them all, and they show you that end result, my auditor, in order to attest or say that I finished it, he would put that thing in front of me, and it's going to get too complex because you have to actually attest to it on 4 flows, meaning communicate with others can freely communicate with you, you can watch others communicating to others. Let's just keep it simple. When I finished grade 0, for example, and I was in an electrified hypnosis high, building over many weeks, lots of sessions, and my auditor put that in front of me. Doug, do you feel like you have the ability to communicate freely with anyone on any subject? I would say yes, and because I'd be disassociated, the needle would float. That's how it registers dissociation, but they call that having a win in Scientology. So just to wrap up this real quick, let's go back to this, and I will show you some, just really quickly, some processes that they run. And then also philosophy, you asked about the OT levels. I guess we'll have to dig into that later, but it's all basically the same thing. They're vague. We talked about that on one of the episodes where we covered clear up to OT3 and go over all that shit. So I'll link it in the description box. You can see here a clear is a being who no longer has his own reactive mind, etc. Right? But I'm just saying it's nothing more than electrified hypnosis building to a high where you feel like you have that ability. Like I felt like I genuinely could communicate to anybody on any subject for a couple weeks. And then the high and the ability that you feel, the placebo effect, the suggestion that you can do that dies out over a day or over a few weeks, and you're back to square one, not actually achieving these abilities. In fact, one of the things I wanted to say is I had a chance to break out of this spell one time when I was at Celebrity Center. And I remember I was doing like the solo course or something like that. That's right after I got up to clear. And I remember saying to my supervisor, something's going on here. Like, here I am supposed to be clear. I'm doing this solo course, and I don't feel like I can still communicate freely with anyone on any subject. There's certain people I'm afraid to talk to that are going to question me on Scientology, etc. So these wins go away. They're not real to begin with. And there are ways that you justify it to keep going, not least the sunk cost fallacy. Hey, man, I'm at Celebrity Center. My family's in this. I've been in it for years. I guess I'll just skip that anomaly and just keep going up the bridge. So here's some of the questions that you would be asked on these. When you're doing that TRs and objectives, we covered this previously. It's go over to that book, look at it, pick it up. What color is it? What is its temperature? Let me show you some actual auditing questions here. Okay. Here it says, this drill may be done for several hours at a time until the pre-clear can do it without delay, without protest, without apathy, but with cheerfulness. In other words, break you down until you're happy about all this shit. So some of the objective processes, this is on a course called the TRs and objectives, and I did the objectives with my auditor. So he'd have a list, and some of the questions he would ask me are very vague, trance-inducing questions that would get you to think. Spot some spots in your body. Now, if you're brand new to Scientology, you're going to say, what in the horse's ass are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. The auditor's not allowed to interpret it. All he can do is clear words that you might not understand. Like if you go, look, I don't know that's a vague question. I don't know what you're saying. He would say, well, what's the definition of the word spot? And you clear all the words until finally they beat you down and you go, fuck it, I'll give it a shot. So spot some spots in your body, right? And you do that over and over again. Spot some spots in the room. And these are continued for at least an hour. So they go back and forth. So imagine sitting there on the objectives. That's right after the purification rundown. You're sitting in the trance-like state with the electrified soup cans that are running a current through your body. And you're asked for at least an hour, spot some spots in your body. And you do that and you say, okay, spot some spots in the room. Okay, spot some spots in your body. And then you do it, spot some spots in the room. Do you guys understand how basic it is? That's all the Scientology processing is. And it's just back and forth questions that drive you nuts, throw you into a trance. And you eventually actually start to have disassociative, quote, wins during this same shit. Here's another one that's on ARC straight wire. Right after the objectives, recall something that was really real to you. Again, that's a vague question that allows your right brain, your imagination to kick in and start to go on an adventure, including going into past lives and all this sort of shit, just on this simple question being asked over and over. Recall something that was really real to you. Recall a time when you were in good communication with someone. Recall a time when you liked someone over and over and over again. Okay, I think that's enough on that philosophy. I hope that somewhat answers your question. There's a much more detailed answer I can give, but we have a lot of shit to get through, I have a feeling. So there you go. If you have any more on that too, please let me know and we can take it. So you have to meet all the criteria, but so you have a way of saying something in one sentence that took me like 10 minutes to just break through. Yeah, exactly. But to try to explain it a little bit, philosophy, it really is as simple as from Dianetic Scientology on, all the grade chart, you are running processes exactly like what I just showed you, back and forth, while you're holding an e-meter that's putting an electric current through your body, which is helping you go to sleep and make you more suggestible. The auditor's looking right into your eyes and he speaks in a cadence speech pattern, exactly like you hear a newscaster speak and look at you. If you add the hours and hours, the fact that you can't leave the session until you disassociate or get the win, and if you go through those repeating questions over and over, you do have these phenomena happen. Like I said, dissociation reframed to all sorts of spiritual, new age mumbo jumbo, like exteriorization, having wins, going up the tone scale, etc. And it's nothing more or less than hypnotism. Okay, so yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Okay, we have some questions coming in here. Cricket, if you see anything that you like or whatever, you can toss it up there too. Lisa, how are you? Love you, Doug. You are one of my favorite to listen to about Scientology because you are so genuine. Thanks, but please don't put me on a pedestal, Meg, because we all make mistakes, and it's like I don't ever want to. I don't ever. We're talking about the parasocial relationship that's been happening, where unless you've been asleep for the last week, there's been drama going on. At the Aftermath Foundation, Aaron Smith-Levin, and then the Headleys doing that prisoner-esque video or whatever. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, let me know. But one of the big things I think, and it's probably just a YouTube and a society thing too, it's not unique to like SPTV or whatever, is that people live parasocially, and when their heroes fall or they find out they're not perfect, or they see behind the curtain, so to speak, which kind of is starting to happen, I think, at least with the situation that's going on, people attach to their various personalities. So I really appreciate the nice comment, man, but I fear the day that I let you down, Lisa, and everybody else, where heaven forbid I make a mistake or I say something that's not true or whatever. But I promise I won't ever bullshit, If I ever get something wrong, which is all the time, and you guys point it out, I'll correct it and I'll let you know. But man, one of the weirdest things just sitting here talking openly to people is I don't want to be anybody's guru or teacher, man. I'm just trying to hang out and work all this shit out. And it is cool. My main motivation is having people to talk to about this, to actually listen and seem to get something from it, because I get a lot out of it just talking to it, talking about it, which I told you guys before. I needed to do that, but it drove all my friends away in the real world. Anon, what did you think of Kelly's video earlier? It was excellent. She handled like a pro, I think. Yeah, I mean, she had like 1,500 people watching at one time, and she just looked not nervous. I mean, that would have terrified me. And she's talking about a subject that's, could be really controversial. And she's awesome, man. Kelly's another person in this community that I've gotten to know, and she is definitely somebody I trust. And that's hard to say in this community. I mean, I trust her. I know she wouldn't. She's not a clout chaser. She's not a bullshitter. And she just says it like it is and does have the courage to say something if it needs to be said. That was an awesome video. That's linked in the description box on her channel. If you guys don't know who we're talking about, Kelli Copter. And I'll link the video that we're talking about right now after the video publishes. Clearwater, Gettysburg, how are you? Good evening from Pennsylvania. My favorite part of the week is anything Doug, but Sunday evening is my most favorite. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Clearwater, for being here. Oh, I'm missing throwing you guys in the chat, man. I'm sorry. I knew we were missing something. Thanks, Cricket. You're just popping these off. These are awesome. While you find out the next one, Cricket, why don't we throw up can someone please say Xenu for God's sake, so we can lighten the mood here, not be so damn serious, and take a hit of our favorite poison? Maryland and the hizzy. Okay, well, you're figuring that out. I'm just going to, Cricket, I'm just going to pretend the party has already, there you go. Thanks. Martha, can always count on you. If you're new, let me just explain it real quick. So, like I said, this is where we get together at the end of the week and just hang out and chat. Anything you want to ask, I try to answer. Again, I'm not a guru. These are just totally my opinions. I'm not a psychologist, et cetera, et cetera. But let me see if I can find that freaking slide. Okay, so the aforementioned Kelli Copter made this awesome slide. Where the hell is it? Okay, there it is. I have to move my ass down now. See, it says Xenu, Marlene there. Everyone partake. Let me boot you guys out of the chat for a quick second so you can see it. So, whenever anybody like Martha says the word Xenu, we take a quick hit of our favorite poison. Again, 34% THC, weed for me. Ice cream cookies is the strain. What are you guys going to be partaking in? Nice. Now everyone's doing it. Okay. Well, fair enough, LS. I mean, everybody's dog should be on a pedestal, but just not a human being. All right, guys, settle down. We don't need to get everybody plowed now. Where were you when I needed you, goddammit? Speaking of dogs, LS, Cricket is not sitting next to the super cutie pie. The pit bull, Elvira, tonight. She's at her home. That was her friend's dog. But man, you guys, if you didn't tune into the last Sunday, you missed seeing one of the cutest dogs on the planet. Cricket, what do you got for us, man? See, my administrator's already getting too fucked up, or she doesn't. All right, Cricket, am I gonna have to pull it up? Anything you want to pop on, throw it on there. Yeah, okay. Shitloads of stuff is pinned. I'm just saying, Cricket, you could just throw out whatever's pinned, man. Just fucking pin the tail on the donkey and just throw something out. And then we'll get back to this background here. Are you able to do that, Cricket? If you're not, I can, easily throw them out, but you should be able to toss them up there. Okay, stand by, guys. Perfect time to take another hit. Cricket appears to be having some problems. Tell you what, I'm going to put some music on. Trying to keep up with chat and show stuff is a bit difficult. Oh, okay, I hear you, Cricket. But if you just jump into the pinned box, can you see where it says pinned? You can just go in there and just randomly throw something up and then go back to whatever. Or I can grab them too. It's not really that big of a deal. But I'm going to put some music on while you figure that out. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Martha. It's a good question. No. Oh, that was a good one, Cricket. If you can throw that back up. Sorry, guys. We will get this figured out, man. But it's much easier having her, even though we're working out the kinks. I cannot do this by myself. Thanks, Cricket. Okay, let's throw on some music here for a minute. And those that don't like it, don't worry. We won't have it on all night. It's just kind of cool and fits the vibe of what we're going for. Martha, question. Probably not the time, but when are we going to see part 2 of Controlled Opposition? Well, you're seeing it live play out in real time. Because, let me just give some backstory on what the hell's been going on in the community without hopefully offending people. So we have talked about the controlled opposition, and just to show you what the hell she's talking about here, let me pull this up. So this is a subject that I've been trying to talk about forever, and many people have. Not many, but do you guys know who Marisa Sigmond is? She's known as Dianne Etex. She's been making some videos lately. There's a whole backstory on the controlled opposition. And 4 months ago, we did this video called Divided Loyalties, Exploring Scientology's Controlled Opposition Part 1. And we've covered it all throughout the channel, actually. There's Zero Dark Tony. We interviewed him when we were checking him out. I wanted to give him an opportunity to tell a story. I think he told like 50% truth and 50% bullshit. And this is before he really turned into what he is now. And we were just kind of feeling him out. Marisa Sigmond, who goes under Dianetics. Some of you probably have seen her videos recently. She has a nutsack to speak out about some of these people and doesn't have any of these people on a pedestal, rightfully so, because we've been trying to talk out about them for about 10 years through various Facebook groups, one of them called Scientology Deprogramming, which I was a part of before that kind of disintegrated. That's the late Arnie Lerma's Facebook group. And let me see if I can summarize what the hell I'm trying to say. We will do a part 2. I never got to get a... You guys want to hear the sequence of events? Because this will help me explain what the hell I'm trying to talk about a little bit. So what happened is, when we did Controlled Opposition Part 1, I was co-hosting a show with Marcus Sawyer of N Theta on Fridays. And I told him, look, dude, Zero Dark Tony is testing the waters a little bit because he's kind of getting out of line with, I think he started calling out Tony Ortega and some other people that attracted some, Aaron started getting bold, so to speak. And he was, saying, hey, here's what you need to know about Tony Ortega. Here's what you need to know about Chris Shelton. And then right around that time, Zero Dark Tony started to turn on Aaron. And instead of having him on a pedestal, he's like, yeah, fuck y'all. And a couple of the first people that he started with, which drew some of us in that were like, yeah, something weird's going on in the community, was people like Tony Ortega, Chris Shelton, etc. So after he pulled some of us in, and that's when I interviewed him, like, who is this guy? And who's this Dana chick? And do we need to rescue Dana because she's is she under Zero Dark Tony's spell? Or what's going on here? So in other words, they were 2 new people onto the scene. And I told Marcus at the time, look, Zero Dark Tony's testing the waters a little bit. I tested it kind of the week before by throwing up the Over the Rainbow video, because this is something you can't talk about because of the aforementioned parasocial relationship that a lot of people have towards their favorite creators. So Mike Rinder can do no wrong. Aaron Smith-Levin can't. In other words, these top Sea Org members, the same 12 fucking people that we see over and over, like every year on Leah's show, the documentaries, it's always the same 12 fucking people out of int base, and they're all Sea Org. So there's a controlled opposition built around what you can talk about and what you can't talk about. And I would say that Mike Rinder and stuff like that will only take the truth so far because him and all the other people have an unspoken thing of here and no further. There are certain things we can't talk about. Guys, seriously, if you just use 2 brain cells, no offense, and this isn't any hit directly at Rinder, because I know he's been through a lot and I know he's changed, but I'm under no delusion and haven't been. And a lot of us that have been scared to speak out about this because of the blowback, there's a lot of people that know that. Let me explain this. What Mike Rinder is, just to put this in context, he is the equivalent of the head of the CIA for 22 years, doing all the nefarious activities, knowing all the secrets, knowing where all the dead bodies are buried, and participating. And then getting out, becoming a superstar. I was living in my fucking car on year like 10 of deprogramming while I was watching Mike in his smart suit on Leah Remini's show, trying to steal heel on year 10. While I'm watching all these int-based people, while they had some struggle, they never really seemed to have a total breakdown. They went the indie route. I don't know, man. It was just, I'm like, how the fuck are all these people in houses and shit and in smart suits? And they seem like they're doing great. And this is the fucking guy that from Lisa McPherson all the way up to the Danny Masterson trial, for people to think that he doesn't know shit that would put him in prison and that he didn't participate and or protect or wouldn't have a vested interest not to tell all. And maybe why you saw his true colors, the facade snap on all these people and that fucking like a prison video that you guys saw where Mike and, was like hunched next to fucking, what's his name? Mark, and then Claire. I mean, they all look terrorized. They might have had good intentions, but obviously they fucked up and they lost a lot of subscribers and all that. And we can say more about that too, because I can also see things from their point of view about why they did get rid of Aaron. What I'm saying is, generally speaking, and we've talked about this all on the channel, it's just now it feels like because people are finally going, oh, gee, they aren't like these untouchable superstars. Like maybe the facade's cracking, and there's a shitload more to come out, man, about a lot of people. Because like I said, I think this has been a long time in coming. It's been hard to make any dents in this at all because everybody just believes these fucking people because they're like mesmerized by the stardom or whatever. But back to what I'm saying. So it's like the head of the CIA, because Mike Rinder was head of OSA. He pimps himself out there as like just the PR guy, or he says what's convenient. He's a really good manipulator and he's a really good talker. He's good looking. People get mesmerized by the accent, and he's a great presenter. It doesn't mean he's totally full of shit, but if you guys think that this guy's like innocent and doesn't know all this shit and might be scared shitless about the Danny Masterson stuff and might have ulterior motives, and why the fuck hasn't this guy had to be in prison, or why hasn't he at least had to testify or answer to any of his actions? He'll just tell you, yeah, I went to the FBI or whatever. Guys, seriously, man. If you're the head of the CIA, to continue the metaphor, and then you leave, i.e. you're ex-CIA, you're never ex-CIA. And I would suggest that these people are never ex-Scientologists. Now, some may practice the tech more than others, like Karen De La Carriere, for example, totally practices her own version of the tech. She's an indie Scientologist. I don't believe Mike Rinder does, but they still act like Scientologists because they never leave that Sea Org mentality, in my opinion, and go through a real transformation, which I believe is necessary to actually decompress, get the fuck off YouTube, do some healing and shit. Like there's never any intermediate period, in my opinion, where they can de-Sea Org themselves. So when you see the mask slip like it did with them, and I think there's 2 sides and 7 sides and 9 sides to every story. None of this is surprising to me. And I'll link some videos in the channel where you guys can, because we're just going to be repeating the same shit here. It's already been said. It's just finally, people like me and Marisa now has, God bless her, man. Go for it, Marisa. I mean, finally, I think maybe more people will start speaking out because they're not going to be as afraid anymore. And it's not to create a war or take everybody down. And it's not even, who cares? It's not even like that big of a deal. It's not the end of the world. It's just our little subculture having another drama. But it's great that some of these people are being booted off their pedestal because it's complete bullshit. And it's gotten saturated, in my opinion, for clout chasing. Everybody's jumping in. It's turned into kind of a parody of what it used to be when Arnie Lerma and shit were around, and it was much more free flowing. But these characters have always been in the foreground, controlling the narrative, hence the controlled opposition. We will do a part two, but I mean, there's so much material now. I guess I, I I don't even think I finished what I was saying. Hang on. Okay, sorry for the ramble, but to get back to what I was saying, Zero Dark Tony was testing the water a few months ago. I told Marcus Sawyer I'm going to do Controlled Opposition Part 1. He doesn't agree with me about Karen and Jeffrey. I said, that's fine, dude. He had a little trepidation on, are they going to fucking, if you do this, am I going to get fair game? You know, I got kids and shit. I talked it out with him. I said, look, dude, if you want to not do the show and you don't want to involve yourself in this, I totally understand, bro. Just tell me right now. And that's fine. No hard feelings. And then we talked it out. And I said, what if I keep you completely out of this? What if we do our Friday show? I'll do this video because I need to do it, dude. It's been a long time in coming. You don't have to agree with me. Just stay out of it, and I'll take care of it. Long story short, he moderated for that Controlled Opposition Part 1 video that I showed you. There's a long story about how he kind of turned on me. Now, he'll say that it's the other way around. That's not true, man. But without, spilling that whole story onto the internet, because I don't need to, because I love Marcus. We had a falling out, but it's not personal, and I understand it. But let's just say a lot of people got cold feet and just sort of scampered away. And because of what Karen did, which I knew she would do, but she did it so fast, she immediately got out there to Dead Agent, the Over the Rainbow video, the Controlled Opposition video, and she got on Aaron Smith-Levin show. Actually, she got Jeffrey Augustine on Aaron Smith-Levin show to give this whole sob story where he's fake crying about Alexander. That's the son. That's Karen's son. And Jeffrey's stepson or whatever. He's not the biological father. Karen is probably close to the top of this pyramid of controlling people. She pays off multiple people behind the scenes. She can get them press. And we've already covered this in the Controlled Opposition video and Steve Mango's videos, which are linked in there. So I don't want to beat a dead horse. So let me try to finish this fucking thing about why we never got to get to part 2. And hopefully we can actually get to it because things hopefully will calm down. Karen sent her lapdog Jeffrey onto Aaron's show an hour before we were going live with the Controlled Opposition. I believe that was completely planned by Karen. They grabbed Laura FM, who's in the Over the Rainbow movie, to make a whole conspiracy about how Over the Rainbow, they threw everybody under the bus. The director was Jeremy Pixato. I know I'm not pronouncing that right, but they accused Jeremy of working for the cult. And since it didn't come out the way that Karen liked, because it made them look like who they really are, even though that was shot over several years, my point about that, putting that movie out, is you're seeing who they really actually are today. They are indie Scientologists. The movie starts out with Jeffrey Augustine, whose ever-shifting story on whether he was in Scientology, whether he wasn't, for how long. He just completely changes his story. And he's been doing that since 2010 when he hooked up as Karen's lapdog. So anyways, Jeffrey gets on Aaron's show, like I said, crying fake tears. Alexander did not like her mother, Karen De La Carriere. Probably knew she was a narcissist, but Karen gets on there and fake cries. She always uses her son's death to get sympathy. So she went on Janice Gilham Grady's show as well, talking about how there's an Over the Rainbow conspiracy. Jeremy must have been bought off by Scientology because it's a pro-Scientology movie, but it's not. But it is. In other words, it drives Karen nuts when this movie is out there. She has to answer a lot of emails about what the fuck's going on. Do you still practice indie Scientology? Oh, no, dear, I'd never do that. Well, she does. Those lies have been proven on that Controlled Opposition Part 1. So after she fucking goes like she's going to do, but man, she went fast. As soon as that fucking Over the Rainbow video went out, Jeffrey was pimping on Aaron's the day before or the hour before. And then right after that, Laura FM got co-opted because she doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Bless her. But, these are all newbies that Aaron brought into the community that don't know who the players are and how manipulative they are. Vanessa got swooped in under Karen's wing. And then, there's supposedly private investigators are following them now. And it's all OSA and shit. These people are completely full of shit. And again, me, Marisa, Steve Mango, if you ever, and other people, if you ever dared talk out about this before, you get hammered. But luckily, the tide's changing. So, anyways, like I said, they went on a whole campaign right away. You know, Janice is typing in the fucking chat, Doug, don't say this shit about me. It's like, dude, I mean, you don't know what's going on here. So, anyways, long story short, I lost friends. I couldn't sleep for days because it was just impossible to keep up with all the smoke that was being kicked in my face and all the drama. And the whole time I'm thinking, too, Karen's leaving out a perfect paper trail for part two, because I was just going to use what she was doing and show exactly how she operates. But I never got around to that. I had to try to save friendships, people that bailed me, and all sorts of shit happened. And it was an intense 2 weeks. And I just, I never wanted to get off on that in any ways. I don't want to make a Zero Dark Tony drama channel. I don't want to take everybody down in this community. I don't want to take anybody down. It's just about the truth. And you can't get to the truth if you have people like Rinder and other controlled opposition people manipulating the fuck out of the community so that we can't get to the fucking truth. So you can never really take down Scientology. But it looks like you're doing it. There's always a foundation to contribute. You know, people are being helped out, supposedly. There's this whole facade that needs to be cracked through, in my opinion. So we will get to a part two. And I think a lot of other people, like Marisa, are going to actually start coming forward, and they're emboldened to do so. Because I don't want to do this shit anyways, man. I just like doing the normal content. But when some fake fucks, and we got a lot of them now, come in, and they start controlling the narrative, which they've been doing forever, but amp it up even more, it needs to be called out, man. It's as simple as that. Okay, so sorry for the ramble, but hopefully that's some background. And like I said, guys, I've already said everything I need to say on this, and it's all, I mean, we can talk about the specifics of the shit, but I've been saying it since the beginning of the channel, and I'll link in the description box as many videos as I can find that you can spend time on, so we just don't have to beat a dead horse. I will say something too here on that. These are the typical kind of responses that come up if you ever bring this shit up. So, Peace Dog, let me see what you got here first. And then I wanted to just kind of finish off this riff here, because maybe we can just nip a lot of this drama shit in the butt and not make it about this shit all night. So, Doug, you can't speak out against Aaron either, though. People are getting shut down for doing so. Perfect. That actually, we must be on the same wavelength, because that leads right into what I was going to say, my friend. So, check this out. This is on a video that was put up. It's a video I did with Cornell 8 months ago. I think it was actually sooner than this, but this is YouTube channel number 4 that I'm on. The first booting off was probably my fault. You know, I put up too much copyrighted material, and although it seemed fine and nothing was happening, all my video, I got 3 copyright strikes and one within a 24-hour period, and my channel was just mysteriously gone. So I didn't really get a warning, but that was probably my fuck up. Then the other 2 channels weren't. So channel 4 here, I'm just trying to stay on this fucking thing. So this is like 8 months ago 8 or 9 months ago when I started the new channel. But we talked about this a year ago when I'm about to play. And you'll notice in the comments of this is the reaction that you get from people. Should you dare go against their favorite parasocially attached creators? So on the video, and I'll play just the part that sums up how I felt 10 years ago and how I feel today, and how I'll feel when more shit does come out, because it's all what we just talked about. So Wild and Crazy here says, and by the way, guys, listen to what he says here, and then listen to what I actually say in the video, and see how the emotions get hold of people. They don't want anything to be wrong with their heroes. And if anybody tries to point it out, this is such a typical reaction. And then let me know what you think. If he's emotionally involved, or if he's accurately portraying what I said. Because this is when, Aaron Smith-Levin came up like 8 months ago on Cornell's channel. So Wild and Crazy says, so Doug, you're not a fan of Aaron Smith-Levin. That's the first red flag right there. I'm not a fan of anyone. That's kind of a sick word right there. So to be a fan of someone, guys, let's put this in perspective, because it's kind of lame. Nobody should be a fan of someone that is a damaged ex-cult member of a sick cult that did shitty stuff and also got shitty stuff done to them. Why would somebody be a hero, or why would you be a fan of a fucking ex-cult member? It's not something to be proud of. It's not entertainment. It's not a game. Yes, I joke about it all the time. It helps to relieve it. I'm kind of over the trauma, but it's a sincere desire to do something about it. I'm not here for like entertainment values, and it's not something to fanboy on. It's just ridiculous. Like seriously, that it's even this kind of talking that already gets me going, because that right there, we shouldn't be a fan of any of these fucking people when they're just fucking, who gives a shit? It's not something to be proud of, man. Anyway, sorry to go off on a tangent. So no, wild and crazy, I'm not a fucking fan of anybody, let alone an ex-cult member, because I saw him on a television show. By the way, I actually was on television. I had to work my ass off and had a legitimate talent. I wasn't on television like Rinder and Aaron and shit by being a fucking ex-cult member. Okay. Yet lately, you proclaim SPTV. I'm confused. Aaron's trying to dismantle the cult. Let me take this up real quick right here. Yet lately, you proclaim SPTV. So Kelli hit that today. There is no SPTV. It's a category where anybody that's been in Scientology that wants to talk out about it is free to use it. There's no forms to sign. Aaron doesn't own it, and he said so. Nobody owns it. It's just simply to let people that are trying to understand what the fuck your video is about. You can use the little SPTV logo. I don't put them on the thumbnails or anything, but it's an easy way to identify. And if it gets too culty, I guess I could take it off, but it's not a group anybody's actually a part of. We're individuals, and there's no SPTV group, just to clarify that. And also, I'm already on the outskirts of this shit anyway, so I thought it would be understood that there's no group or whatever. We all have our own individuals' opinions, even though it is pretty culty. Okay, perfect, creepy, thanks. And thanks, Cricket, for throwing that up. So before we get back to this, and as you can tell, I'm getting heated, guys. We're going to get into this shit. Okay, let's do a quick Marlene. So, damn it. Let me throw you guys over here in the chat. Let's do some music. Let me fucking settle down so I don't say anything I regret, because I can already see the comments. What do you mean you're not a fan of Aaron Smith-Levin and Mike Rinder? Okay, stand by. Let's do a Marlene. It depends on what you guys ask tonight, like I said. I mean, we could really get into this, or we can just skip to other shit if you're sick of it. It's totally up. But I do have some other shit pulled up. Oh, hell yeah. That's a cool jam. Okay, so here's a Marlene thing. Let me throw my ass down here so you guys can kind of see it. Indulge while we all just chill out. By the way, where are you guys from? And would you like to change the time around? It's 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles, California. It's Sunday night. We don't get our Brits in the house because they're sleeping. It's currently 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 4 a.m. Overseas and shit, so it's kind of a shitty time to do this. But remarkably, we have 300 people here. But would you guys like, where are you from? What time is it? And would you like to do this Sunday Q&A at a better time where everybody could meet? Let me know if you don't mind. And Cricket, if you want to throw up some people who are shouting out their place, feel free to do so while we chill. All you have to do, Cricket, is go into where it says the chat, right? And then you should see pinned messages, and then it should have a number. Click on that, and then you should be able to hover over any comment and throw it out. And if that's not working, we'll talk about it and get it honed better the next time. Okay, so let's finish this fucking thing off, man. Anyways, this is the atypical response from the emotionally invested, parasitically attached, and having people on a pedestal when nobody's perfect. Let me turn down the music a little bit. Laura, thank you, Doug. It's so ridiculous, this fun claptrap. People behave as Aaron and Mike are heroes and they're best friends, animal society, best friends. We don't know them personally. They are not people we really interact with. Good point. Agreed. I don't hate these people either, by the way, guys, because it's a let me just finish reading this and calm down, and then I'll tell you what I've said a million times, where I'm kind of coming from, where it's a complicated situation overall. Idaho, what's up, Melanie? Hell yeah. So that would be what, 2, maybe 3 hours ahead? If the music is too annoying, guys, let me know. Okay, so here we go. Aaron's trying to dismantle the cult. You want them awake and enlightened. He's trying to get the cult to dissolve completely. Why is he wrong and you're right? Again, I don't feel like I'm saying he's wrong and I'm right. I'm just trying to explain, as you'll see in the interview. I'm a sub of both you and Aaron, and I have a tough time with someone telling someone else how they have to recover. Again, I don't feel like I'm forcing my ideas or telling anybody anything on how to recover. I'm just telling my personal experience and opinions. He's helping people with the Aftermath Foundation. Well, not anymore. And getting people back to family. Or is he breaking up his own family? Getting people like Serge Oblinsky actual prosthetics and a home. My friends, I hate to say I told you so, but there's more about Serge Oblinsky and everything this dude is saying, which we'll just let it all come out, man, because it's not going to be able to not. But this is so off the mark, but you can see, I don't know, this is driven by emotions to me rather than because I didn't really actually, I feel like I'm being not talked about correctly here. But he's not evolved enough to be respected. I have questions. Anyways, here's what I fucking said, when Aaron just happened to come up, about a year ago or whatever. And this is my opinion. Let me take the music down here. Okay, let me put this back in the chat. There's something about not having you guys over here that absolutely sucks. While we're here, take another Xenu. Why not? Well, thanks for joining us, Laura, at 6 a.m. in Italy. And it's always cool just hanging out with people from all over the world. And thank you again for your commitment. 6 a.m., is that your regular time waking up? Or are you just dying to get in all the gossip? No, I'm just kidding. 3 p.m. in Australia. Awesome. Hey, Sue, how you doing, man? So you're in our future. How does it look? Do we make it to the next day? Okay, let's put this back in the background. So anyways, you guys saw the comment. Here's what I said when Aaron came up. And again, nothing's changed. And maybe we'll add on to it or carry on to other shit tonight. But my whole family knew what we were involved in, but they were scared to talk about it for the very reasons that I just described. Like, to come to terms with what I did as a Scientologist and my parents do is a whole, I mean, if you really come to terms with it, not like a lot of the ex-Scientologists that leave Scientology, but maybe just described. Like, I just want to give some background here. He's asking me about my family and the decompression process. And really the only thing that I think that was different for me, well, I know it's different, but people are going to go, you're sounding egotistical. Why are you judging? Look, man, I had to literally lose everything, including my self-identity, my family, my acting career, everything that I built up, and then start from the ground up. And that, at least, whether that's correct or not, it allowed me to get the Scientology the fuck out of my mind. And over a very long period of time, a decade of hard work and studying, understanding what happened to me. I've told you guys all about it. I did go through a fundamental transformation because I was motivated to not join another cult, and I felt like a shitty person. And a lot of these Sea Org come out because they get booted out. They're butthurt by Miscavige. They were never really in it for anything other than power anyways. And also, to get to the top like Mike Rinder did, I would never make it there. They couldn't even get me into the Sea Org. So I know that he was born into it as an example, but to be the right-hand man of David Miscavige, to do all the fucking evil, dirty shit that man did for 22 years with a straight face, you have to have a certain level of psychopathy induced to fucking get to that level. So certain people can never even make it there. Like I said, they couldn't get my ass in the Sea Org, even though I was asked hundreds of times under very pressure-oriented situations to join the Sea Org. The only thing that kept me out, because I felt like a piece of shit for not being part of the elite, is I just couldn't give up the dream of making it as an actor. That was the thing that was keeping me 1 foot out of the mad shit that a lot of these people got into. So anyways, that I'm just telling in this interview I'm talking about, we're talking about the wake up process. I do feel what's different and lacking overall, and what the whole problem is, and why Aaron's going to start his foundation. His head's going to explode, and he'll all the stuff that got him removed from the Aftermath Foundation, his unwieldy emotions, his ego, that stuff I do think is going to cause him to go. And I think he's freaking out that all this shit's been building up. And he's quite good at manipulating people and telling them, skirting around the issues and making it sound like he's the victim all the time. And he doesn't quite tell the whole truth on everything, but he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a good fucking speaker, man. And he's done a shite load to bring in all sorts of people, including Zero Dark Tony, Goldie, and all that, which the foundation people were not happy with. And also getting into the shit in the hotel room with the gal, in LA. He just came clean on the marriage. Let's just say he has a good way, I think, of getting out shit where it makes him look like the good guy when people are like going, shouldn't we have some fucking questions here? Anyway, so this is the context of the interview. So I'll stop fucking rambling. Cricket, let's keep all this shit off while we roll videos and stuff, and so they can get like a full screen. And then here, that's the context. To come to terms with what I did as a Scientologist and my parents do is a whole. I mean, if you really come to terms with it, not like a lot of the ex-Scientologists that leave Scientology, but maybe they just got kicked out or whatever. They're still the same assholes, that they were inside. They're just not in the cult anymore.
Just for me, butt hurt.
Butt hurt, as opposed to, hey man, I was really a piece of shit while I was in this cult. I need to become a better person. And that's, if someone that should be the revelation if you come out of a cult. And if my parents were to experience that pain, dude, it would kill them.
There was somebody that said, I think it was Levin. What's his first name again?
Aaron Smith-Levin.
Aaron Smith-Levin said that he had no problem with the beliefs of Scientology. He had the beliefs of, or he had a problem with how they went about it. And I'm like, that doesn't really cover it.
Yeah, he also said the main reason he's doing his YouTube channel is to get back at David. Cricket, you said, guys, it's not playing at all, Cricket? Because it's playing on my end. So are you guys not hearing a damn thing? Were you just sitting there for like 20 seconds? Let's see. I get what you're saying. It's just, guys, were you able to see that video or not? Cricket was telling me I needed to hit play, but I was just playing the fucking thing. It did for a moment, but then you stopped it. Well, it's been Cricket. I'm totally confused. I'm hearing it. I hear it playing here. It's playing. Okay. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Cricket. It sounds good. I lay off the alcohol. Just kidding. Can't hear. Yo, what's going on? Cricket, can you speak? I have you on screen. Okay, Jesus. Oh my God. Guys, I'm going to play this. Please let me know if you can hear this. Miscavige to piss him off as much as possible. I don't have hate in my heart. I'm not after Miscavige or anybody. It caused me to introspect so badly that the first thing okay, Cricket, I'm not sure what's going on, but everybody says I think they can hear it just fine. So let me bring it back. Sorry about that, guys. We will get this worked out. If you really come to terms with it, not like a lot of the ex-Scientologists that leave Scientology, but maybe they just got kicked out or whatever. They're still the same assholes, that they were inside. They're just not in the cult anymore.
Just for me, butt hurt.
Butt hurt, as opposed to, hey man, I was really a piece of shit while I was in this cult. I need to become a better person. And that's, if someone that should be the revelation if you come out of a cult. And if my parents were to experience that pain, dude, it would kill them.
There was somebody that said, I think it was Levin. What's his first name again?
Aaron Smith-Levin.
Aaron Smith-Levin said that he had no problem with the beliefs of Scientology. He had the beliefs of, or he had a problem with how they went about it. And I'm like, that doesn't really cover it.
Yeah, he also said the main reason he's doing his YouTube channel is to get back at David Miscavige, to piss him off as much as possible. I don't have hate in my heart. I'm not after Miscavige or anybody. It caused me to introspect so badly that the first thing a Scientologist, again, I don't want to tell anybody what to do. I thought all of us exes were on the same page and we're going through this process too. But to me, the first thing that needs to happen is you need to take responsibility for who you were. Yes, we were manipulated. Yes, we were victims, but it's a two-way flow too. We can't just blame everything on everybody. We took part in that. So I certainly felt compelled to become a much better person and to be humbled and to make up for the damage, not to get back at Miscavige, not to get back at my parents, Dude, I wanted to for the longest time. I think that's part of the healing process. I had to express the anger. I called up my parents angry, sad. I threatened their life, dude, and they had to get a restraining order on me. I mean, this is serious business, but I had to get that out.
By the way, guys, everybody has a free opinion here. So if what are you being blocked or what? There should be no blocking going on. We're all here. Okay, Cricket's saying no. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes too, guys, like because I get messages where, hey, none of our mods are blocking people. They kind of they know what's up. I trust them. So once in a while, YouTube fucking does funky shit. So it's not always, you're not being blocked, and hopefully nobody is, but everybody can say whatever the hell they want here. Continuing on. I lost it. Stand by.
And even when that was happening, I recognized there's no way out. I can't suppress this. And I had an acting class too, so I didn't have to kill my parents. I could act it out. But I see these ex-Scientologists, they haven't even started that process for the most part. These are ex-Sea Org members. These are the people that did the worst shit, dude. These are the kind of people that were assholes when I was a public member. And they didn't do Scientology. They administered it. These are the geeks we were talking about, the ones that got into it because it gave them a sense of power. I didn't want a sense of power, dude. I felt like a piece of shit when I came out of this. And it took me 10 years looking in the mirror and not being that. So yeah, I'm not looking to get back at anybody. My parents have every right to be a Scientologist. And as I said in a previous interview, we take the consequences of the choices we make. So I don't need to play God. Every day, my parents pay the price of the choice that they make to stay in there, but it's their life and they have every right to do that. I don't want to get back at them or Miss Cabbage, or anybody, dude. If you have any, but I just want to say real quick, if you have any kind of hate in your heart, or you're trying to get back and you still feel, because they crush us and it's okay to be mad at them for a while, but sooner or later, I think part of that recovery process, which we were kind of talking about, is to get to an even keel and to be effective about helping other people. That's what you want to do. That's what I want to do. And not trying to get back at these people. Because, dude, for the most part, we're victims. We have no idea what happened to us. And we were all in the same position that these other people were, So we're not better than them.
Anyways, I hope that doesn't sound self-righteous. It feels weird just looking at yourself say this shit. But really, that's what I feel. That's what happened to me, man. And I feel that's the problem, is they never decompress. They still carry that Sea Org mentality over with them. I mean, that was so obvious in that video response that the Headleys and Render did to Aaron. The only thing that was missing in that video was them being suited up in their fake Navy uniform. You all saw it, right? And then you guys also saw, what else we got here? So what I'm trying to say here is, I think it's totally their life. They can do what they want, but they haven't decompressed. They're Sea Org. They love power in general. They have a lot of secrets that I think will come out, and it's all going to implode. Like it, you can't bullshit and get far. Eventually, I think it catches up with you. So that's all we're seeing, and it's been a long time in coming. And also, I do like these people too. It's a double-edged sword. That's why I wanted to kind of play that. I'm in no position. I thank God I didn't join the Sea Org. And I can't imagine, for example, what it was like. Rinder was born into this shit, right? So that's fucked up by his parents right out of the gate. So he gets out when he's old. I believe there's some sincerity there in trying to make up the damage, but I think he has to protect his ass. I personally wouldn't do that. I would, I was ashamed of myself as a public member, and I did a microscopic fraction of what he fucking did and others. And I wanted to kill myself over it. So I can't even imagine. I don't think you can decompress if you're in Render's position in a lifetime. I think you need to incarnate several lifetimes to make up the damage. Maybe he's trying, but I don't know, man. I would take a different approach. I would say, slap the handcuffs on. I don't give a fuck what's going to happen to me. This is killing me. I can't be phony anymore, and I will tell the whole truth. I don't give a fuck what happens to me. Remarkably, I think if he actually did that, he probably would actually avoid jail time, and he would be a real hero. I don't know, man. I'm probably way too harsh on people in general because I'm super, I just don't like
phoniness and bullshit, and I feel like I can see it when I watch it, and it just makes me want to vomit. But I'm just sensitive to that because I was a bullshit artist for most of my life, living in the Scientology fake bubble world. And at least in order to not be a phony, I had to take at least half the responsibility. Okay, I was manipulated and I was mind controlled. Well, it's my business to find out what the hell that is. No one's going to do it for me. And I don't want to keep being a shitty person. So it really, really fucked my self-esteem and everything up. And I just haven't seen these Sea Org members actually go through that. They're not very humble. If you guys want an example of like the stuff we're talking about, Aaron's anger or whatever, I feel like I'm throwing him under. First time here, hang on, Tom. I feel like I'm throwing him under the bus here when I shouldn't be. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but let me just keep this short and brief. So, hey, Marilyn, how are you, my friend? Cricket, let's keep the comments off for 1 second. I'm going to play this video. Let me just say a few words on this real quick. My whole take on this fucking thing, and I'll hope never have to say anything about it again, is that I can understand from both sides. So obviously, Claire and the Headleys, Claire Headley and Mark Headley and Rinder, that was a pretty shitty video. They were unprepared. They thought they could just make a statement. No one would notice and they could just carry on, right? They have a disagreement in the background. No one will notice. They make a quick announcement that Aaron's off the board and no one will notice. That's obviously a mistake. Okay, so they fucked up. But from their point of view, I do think that there will be stuff coming out. And Aaron will probably try to, as he's doing so far, win people over to his side. But sooner or later, I think that his conduct, this is totally my opinion, okay, guys? And I'm going to link in the description box just to show you where you can get more information if you want to get into all this shit on Reddit. I'm going to leave some particular links where they go into all sorts of speculation. It's level-headed shit, so it's not a bunch of people losing their mind like in the comment section. But that's not what I wanted to address. It's up to you guys to just go speculate forever. I just wanted to make my quick opinion on that, like I said, and hopefully we won't have to bring it up again. But so I think that they had reason to remove Aaron for what happened in LA. Not just that, but that him bringing in Zero Dark Tony, which was part of Leah's lawsuit. No, I don't think Leah's suing Tony, but let's just say that he... I think they would be a little bit pissed off, again, my opinion, about Aaron being a loose cannon. I've noticed he's really loose on information. A couple of videos he's put out, I'm like, wow, he's really jumping the gun on this information. It's speculative and there's accusations where he feels like he's kind of crossing the line. He's loose on data in favor of pumping out quantity of content. So that was one thing I've been watching the whole time. Another thing is... shit, let me get my train of thought back here. Hang on. I have to handle one thing. Stand by, guys. Okay, another thing is I think that what happened in LA, that's a bigger problem than being said, but I don't think that the Headleys and shit are going there. And I think that even though it doesn't matter what he does in his personal life, he has enough incidents stacked up where they are trying to lock down the foundation because Aaron brought Zero Dark Tony in, which has caused a problem for him, and Goldie, and a lot of people on the positive side too. They didn't like that. His behavior has been so erratic over X amount of years that he, from their viewpoint, would be a liability. And I could understand that. Okay, so his personal life doesn't matter. He's in an open marriage, which we never knew about, which is deceptive in itself, which he played off as a good thing. Again, it's none of our business, but what an opportunity to kind of sway something that could make you look bad, especially since he's got his kid there at the end of every video. It's the facade cracking a little bit. It's putting out a bit of a false image, no matter what you fucking say is right or wrong. It's his business, right? But I think that they're really not happy with Aaron being a loose cannon. They got to lock shit down with the foundation now because Zero Dark Tony is, quote, exposed too much. So they are trying to line up everything. And yes, they did it in a Scientology, Sea Org, ethics handling mentality. They totally use Scientology on Aaron and the way they handle it, and especially that video. But I think they have reason to do it, and it's up to them. Yes, I know they're married couples. Yes, I know they're going to pick sides. If I was running a foundation and I had someone that was that much of a loose cannon, yeah, I would say we're tightening shit up. This guy's going to fuck up the image. It's only a matter of time. That's my take on it. So both sides are not angels or whatever. And I hate to say it, but when I have private conversations with my ex-Scientologist friends that are in the know on this shit, I wish it wasn't this way, but it's only a matter of time before I think that, which happens to a lot of YouTubers when their head explodes and they get too big, it will be more to come out and it won't make them look good. So I'm just want to give you one example and hopefully we can put that shit to rest. But without bringing up the LA shit, there's a small video on that which you can't make any sense of. I'm just going to show you the 5-minute video of him at the bar when he was running for city councilman. Again, I think Aaron wants to be something. I think he's really intelligent too and smart. And he's been successful in businesses before and stuff. Just to show you something on that real quick. So I don't have to talk about all this shit. We can move on. I am going to link in the description box too, Aaron's background, because there's a good, interesting background on who, how much of a hustler he is and his whole family situation. This is on Tony Ortega's blog back in 2014. And it's definitely worth reading if you want to know more about their family story. And I'll link that in the description box. Also, when I asked Aaron in an interview about his wife, the answer that I got back, which didn't make a lot of sense when I was interviewing him, now makes total sense. So he was keeping a few things secret even during the fucking interview we did. But again, maybe that's his business. I'm just going to show you this incident. He had a little outburst when his emotions got the best of him at a meeting, that was on video of him running for Clearwater City Council. He's drunk as fuck. He calls his chick a cunt like 5 times, and finally the boyfriend goes over and beats his ass. And you can see him swing the conversation because he's a very good talker where it's not quite true. One other thing on this before I play the video, then we'll move on. When he was talking about this incident that you're about to see on his YouTube channel, not only did he leave out the fact that he called the chick a cunt 5 times and he deserved to have his ass kicked, he actually made himself look like a hero, not dissimilar to what he just did recently, where the audience, his cult followers, were totally on his side. I mean, there's never a negative comment in his fucking thing. I mean, he must delete them, right? I get negative comments all the time. I'm sure everybody does. But it's always like, it just looks like a cult. Like, wow, that was great. He fucking bullshitted people on that, man. I'm sitting there going, dude, wow, way to turn a situation around. But anyways, here is a situation. You make of it what you will. Then we'll move on to the next question. Do a fucking Zeno and get on to something else.
I'm the one who called the police.
Let me pull this up here. Okay, so again, he's running for Clearwater City Council, and he gets into an altercation, and this will speak for itself.
First time hearing about it. I haven't had any. I'm the one who called the police. An hour went by. Okay. He thought he heard me calling his girlfriend crazy. He was a friend of yours?
He didn't. He used the word crazy, and it was actually cunt, which again, he's lying to the police, and he's hammered. I'm just saying what's happening here. I'm not trying to judge. Just saying this is what's going on.
They're not friends of mine.
Well, you said you know them.
I do know the girlfriend, not the guy. I was at Fusion. By the way, 20 people over there just witnessed it.
You don't have to get so close,
I'm sorry.
buddy.
No, I'm just saying, 20 people over there.
I know what you're saying. I can hear you from there.
Okay, fine. So what do you want me to...
Just keep going.
Okay. I've never even had so much as an extended conversation with her, but I know who she is because we both grew up in Scientology. She said I stalked her like a year ago. I said, do you mean by messaging you on Facebook? Is her boyfriend, who I do not know...
You can follow whatever report you want, but is this regarding you stalking her?
No. Got nothing to do with that.
I don't know. It sounded like that's what she was trying to imply.
No. She's drunk. She has no idea what she's saying.
She's drunk. She has no idea what she's saying. Aaron's obviously hammered. And he is stalking her. And again, he was supposedly married at this time, but now he's come out that he's had a separation or open divorce, whatever the hell he said. And again, he's a very, very smooth talker, but he's not actually telling the truth here.
All right, you're one of the bartenders here, right?
Yes.
So the bald guy over there?
He did not start it. Walks over.
Emily just told me that Aaron, the bald guy, was calling the other guy's girlfriend.
By the way, guys, I think that it's probably buffering. The video might be cracking up a little bit, but if the sound's buffering too and it's too annoying, let me know and I'll put it on a smaller screen so it doesn't do that. 1, if it's fine. 2, if you need me to do something different with the video/audio.
5 times.
Yeah, there was an issue throughout the night. You could tell.
Oh, that'll do it.
So there might be a history there, because as I was getting them to leave, she was going, "You're a fucking stalker. I have proof," and blah blah blah. And he's like, "Fuck you," blah blah blah. So yeah, can't be calling somebody's girl.
No, I'm gonna say that's gonna ruin the night.
Their fucking mouth too.
All right, so what you saw was the other guy pushing this guy's chair down.
I have been at Fusion for the last 3 or 4 hours, sitting at the bar. I mean, if you want me to get into the details, I asked her and her boyfriend if she would sign my petition. Okay.
What is she saying in all of this?
Nothing. Oh, here's what she said. I told him about what you did, I don't know, a year ago. Which is, I sent her a lot of Facebook messages because she's super fucking hot. There's no animosity.
But she brought up the whole thing about you stalking her. So there's a little bit of animosity.
Well, she brought it up. She's fucking crazy. Yes, but I'm
This is the same pattern of behavior, by the way, that happened in L.A.
saying, she brought up something that happened 18 months ago.
Okay.
Where while I was really drunk, I sent her a bunch of Facebook messages. Like, what do you want me to say? I don't know. She's super hot. I'm sorry.
But she would try to de-escalate, and so was the boyfriend. Until he did it the 5th time, the guy said that's the what I understood.
So let me ask you something. So some of the bartenders inside said that they heard your conversation. Okay, so I'm gonna just spit out what they told me.
Go ahead.
Basically, you were talking to this girl, and I heard, the word is that you didn't just say she was crazy, but I heard, you slipped out a couple of, really bad words to this girl.
Wait, to the girl?
To the girl.
Oh,
okay?
I wasn't even talking to the girl. I was talking to the guy next to me. The girl was halfway down the bar. I wasn't even talking to her.
So this is the acquaintance of yours, but you're not talking to her. You're talking to somebody else, but you're talking about her.
Correct.
And somebody overheard.
Well, I mean, I guess her boyfriend overheard.
Well, she said she overheard too, so...
I believe that.
Okay, the boyfriend now defending the honor of his girlfriend steps to you.
But do my words justify him punching me in the face and knocking me down?
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Granted, the answer to that is no. Okay. But my wife is with me at a bar, and I'm hearing this guy talking about my wife.
That's a problem.
It's a problem.
I agree.
What do you expect me to do about it?
Well, legally?
Go up to you, hey man, what are you doing?
Are we talking legally?
Man to man, what would you do?
Man to man, I might have one answer, but legally, I'm talking about that motherfucker assaulted me.
Okay.
2 different witnesses, both who are 100% sober.
Well, they weren't even there. They were outside. Those witnesses were outside. They heard the caller contact.
Which witnesses are you think I'm referring to?
Well, the reason I'm assuming that I know is
Can I just say something here real quick? I don't know about you guys, but if I got my ass kicked by calling some girl a cunt, I wouldn't run to the police. I would just take it. He can call the police, right? But it's just kind of a bitch move. And you could just see he's fucking just lying. And it's not just one incident, by the way. We're not just going to run like a million bashing Aaron's thing or whatever. But there's several other ones. I'll link them in the description box so you can watch them. But I'll just show you 3 seconds of another one. In other words, I think that they were justified in getting rid of him on the Aftermath Foundation. And then Aaron is set free and they're set free. And I think Aaron, I hate to say it, but I think that, these whatever's going on in his life, and we can only speculate to some degree, the emotions and not being able to keep him in check and just bullshitting people will catch up with them sooner rather than later.
because all those people are good people. They're not lying. I did call her a cunt after the assault. 40 minutes earlier, I was asking her to sign a petition. I'm not just calling a girl a cunt at a bar.
Somebody said that Aaron was calling his girlfriend a cunt like 5 times, and he finally just had enough of it. He got up and walked over. Seems like a
By the way, just to put this more into context, this is when he was running for the position alongside Mark Bunker, who's actually a really stand-up guy, in my opinion, the Clearwater City Councilman. So this is probably not something you'd want to be doing, at least when you're running. And also, he got really pissed, Aaron, because he went up to the girl who he was, quote, stalking, or he found really hot on Facebook, and said, hey, I'm running for Clearwater City Council. And she basically told him, buzz off. That pissed him off. He called the girl a cunt like 5 times over and over while the guy and the girl could clearly hear him. The guy told Aaron to stop several times. Finally, it was enough, and the guy came over and kicked his ass. Okay, so that's the end of it. And like I said, we're not just going to sit here and just rant on a million things, but I can see why they might want to distance themselves, just at least from the aftermath. Here's another incident where he was involved in a police interview where Aaron Smith-Levin admits hacking plot. We'll just play 5 seconds of this. I know, right? This is like straight out of a... And everybody's going to say, it's OSA doing this. It's not fucking OSA, guys. That's the go-to thing to get out of problems. It's actually just them doing that to themselves.
Okay, so you brought it
Let me
up.
bring this back a little bit. How long is this? It's 5 minutes. I guess we'll just play the whole thing. But again, I don't want to just sit here and bash on Aaron. I just want to let you know he has, in my opinion, and from the evidence, he has a track record. If you guys want to go down the rabbit hole, so I'm going to link the, I told you, I'm going to link all this Reddit shit where you can get into all the theories, hear the evidence, what happened in LA, et cetera, et cetera. It's all here. So Aaron waiting to talk about the LA incident because he's trying to time it with the launch of his charity. Just deep dive on this shit and make up your own mind. But there's some rational talking going on over here where you can learn a lot, make up your own mind, and it doesn't descend into this parasocial relationship where they're sucking the content creator's cock. So let me get back to here. Okay, so here's just another incident.
Okay, so
oh yeah, and totally agreed, Kat. I completely agree with you. I don't think anybody's saying they shouldn't have gotten rid of Aaron. It's how it was handled. Yeah, no shit. They clearly fucked up completely. There was definitely a better way to handle this. I mean, you couldn't have done it any worse. I think that the Headleys know they fucked up. You know, it sucked. I would not want to be Claire right now because could you imagine being on YouTube? You know, they're probably trying their best or whatever, all things considered. And they know they fucked up. They took a huge hit and they're probably super distraught. And I would imagine that they would actually want to say more regarding Aaron, but they're not for many and various reasons. But give it time and it'll come out. You know, I mean, Aaron says he's going to talk about it in 3 months, which is a little mysterious. But yeah, man, they obviously fucked up in the way they handle it.
you brought it up, the USB.
And also, just to jump off of that, Kat, it's a battle of egos too, right? Because I'm sure they're jealous of Aaron and shit. You know, he's kicking ass out there. There's probably some of that. And then there's two egos butting heads where Aaron maybe could have bowed out gracefully. Perhaps he made it hard. And they had their egos where they're like, fuck Aaron, he's getting too popular. Who does this guy think he is? He's going to damage the Aftermath Foundation, which might have some merit too. So just a clashing of Sea Org egos, man.
Tell me what's the USB thing and what do you know about this whole?
To be perfectly honest, because the Church of Scientology is involved in this, because it's not Sigmond. It's not Sigmond making the support. He doesn't give a fuck. In fact, the USB thing was his idea. So, but because the Church of Scientology is behind this, I'm the kind of guy who's willing to say anything to anybody. I'm not willing to play chicken with the church on this. So, I mean, look, there's some underhanded shit going on here. I'm pro cooperation 100%.
Do you guys even know how in the hell you even get involved in a situation like this? I mean, and also he says he's fearless about going up against a cult, but it's convenient to blame the cult when it's convenient.
Because the Church of Scientology is behind this, I'm the kind of guy who's willing to say anything to anybody. I'm not willing to play chicken with the church on this. So, I mean, look, there's some underhanded shit going on here. I'm pro cooperation 100%, but the church will do anything they can to try to fuck me, and I don't actually know what the accusations are.
The complaint is a USB that there was talk. There was talk. I don't know, semantics, but there was talk of putting a USB into the computer hacking, remotely accessing church computers.
Oh yeah, not remotely accessing. I mean, it was again, like you said, it gets into semantics. I'm not a computer guy, but it was it was how to get the statistics. It was how to get the true membership numbers, the true enrollment numbers, the true courses completed, auditing hours, and income stats. And yeah, so that's why Dianne brought Sigmond to the table.
If you guys are tired of hearing this, just let me know. That's just a sample. I can link it in the description box. We're 1 minute and 40 seconds in, 5:24. Let me know if you want me to stop and move on to something next, or if you want to fucking see this thing, and I'll play it until I hear from you guys.
Yeah, he's like, I can get a course, I could get access to a computer, and he's like, I can figure out which computer has internet access and what the OS is and everything like that. So Dianne was there, Sigmond was there, and it was a conversation that happened, and nothing ever happened. There was never any follow-up, and literally nothing ever happened.
So after that first...
Okay, I guess you want to hear it. How about we get through this, and guys, let's do a Xenu and get super fucked up while we watch the coked out Aaron continue this police interrogation. So consider this a Xenu Marlene. I'm just kidding. I don't know that he's coked out.
Throwing it out there that Sigmond did, no.
Yeah, and I was interested. I wasn't like, that's a bad idea. I don't give a, I don't really honestly give a fuck. But it was a conversation.
Okay. You didn't actively try and follow through with Sigmond?
I mean,
did you text message him, say, hey, you ready to do this? Anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, it was a conversation. I mean, I was interested if it was possible. He thought it was possible. Yeah. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
But, was it bait? Maybe. I mean, at this point, why the fuck would these guys be doing this?
Mm-hmm.
You have Sigmond, who doesn't really give a shit about any of this. He's just doing what the fuck someone's asking him to do. I mean, honestly.
Who's asking him to do?
Someone.
Someone?
He doesn't actually give a fuck. He doesn't really a fuck about Scientology. He doesn't really give a fuck about anti-Scientology. In fact, if you ask me, he gives more of a fuck about anti-Scientology. I mean, me, him, and Dianne spent a lot of time chatting, and he fucking hates Scientology.
Who was going to get,
One of the things I noticed, just my personal opinion, is these guys are way too close to Scientology. Like, I wonder what their life would be like without YouTube channels, without Scientology or Scientology-related businesses or anything. I wonder if they've ever actually stepped out into the real world. They seem to be obsessed with talking about Scientology, whether in or out of it. Or is it just me? Continuing back to this true crime special episode on Dazed After Dark.
A program written for this USB, or who had the who had the hacking capability to be able to do this remotely?
There was someone I spoke to about it, because I thought this sounds like something that could actually work.
It would be really interesting, guys. I don't know if behavior, those behavior guys are pseudoscience or not. But it would be really interesting to get a behavior guy to break down this video and the other one and see, what's going on here, because it is interesting.
But I think that gets into a part where I'm not going to do the Church of Scientology a favor of commenting at this point, honestly. No, I mean, truly, no disrespect, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you're here voluntarily. If you don't want to talk about something, we won't talk about it.
Yeah.
It's fine. Okay. And so officially, as far as I'm concerned, what I'm getting from you is officially your statement is the whole USB idea and everything else was brought up by Sigmond.
The USB part was.
Okay.
So the idea was like, okay, how do we do something effective? What would be effective? And this other friend, who I'm sure he's already named, but I'm not going to name him, I said, hey, it was actually, the other friend was like, okay, how do we do this? And I was like, okay, well, I do have this friend named Sigmond, who is, he's dying to take down Scientology, and he has access. So let me ask him how he thinks we could do this. And he's like, well, we could, and then he mentioned the computers and the internet-capable computers versus the non-internet.
Like, what the fuck is he even talking about, guys? Help me decipher this in the comments after the video, but why is he even involved in a plot this... I don't know, man. It's just ridiculous.
Capable computers, and then there was a conversation about, okay, well, in order to do this, you have to know the operating system of what the computer is. So then Sigmond was like, okay, I will go in and try to figure out the operating system. And so he's like, how do I do that? So I asked my friend, how do you figure out the operating system? And he said, just take a picture of the damn screen and I'll see if I can figure out how to figure out the operating system. That is exactly where the entire thing ended, because Sigmond could never make it back into the Bel Air mission.
Last thing I'm going to ask you, I've talked with both St. John and Morgan. Both of them have come in here. Both of them took what we call CVSA, computer voice stress analysis. Lie detector. It's a new version of a lie detector.
I wonder if that's the e-meter version of the lie detector or not. It's funny that they end with, so what do you think about going on a lie detector?
We call CVSA, computer voice stress analysis. Lie detector. It's a new version of a lie detector.
It's called the e-meter, the Mark Super 7.
Basically measures stress in your voice, answering questions and so forth. Would you be willing to take one?
Because the church is involved with this? Definitely not.
Definitely not willing to take a lie detector. Interesting response. Again, you guys make if it will. I'll link description box for you to deep dive on all this bullshit. But have we covered it? Or are we going to beat a dead horse? Also, like, it's just because I feel like I'm just bashing Aaron. That dude has a lot of good qualities too, man. It's not easy to sit there and pump out the content. He's got a good personality. I think he does have a heart. I don't think he's a sociopath. I just think he's going to be his own downfall. And I hope I'm totally wrong, man. But again, this information has been out forever. It's just, it's good maybe to clear some of the, whatever needs to happen, hopefully will happen. And like more people like Dianne Etex, who's been talking out about everyone from Mitch Brisker, which is absolutely hilarious and she's spot on, to Scientology. Why can't we all just get along? Go and subscribe to this chick channel, by the way, guys. In fact, I'm going to do so right now. This is a good friend who, we've been talking about this shit for years. One of the few people that has a pair of brass balls and will actually say it like it is. My personal experience with OSA and what it's really like. Friday night, just got paid, not a Scientologist. We still get laid. Hell yeah. Anyways, I'm going to link her in the description box because I just wanted to say this has been a subject that's been covered a lot. I feel like I'm already talking too much about it. And can we fucking end that for now, right? The statement has been made. I didn't want to dodge it tonight because I felt everybody's going to be asking these. And like I said, I'll leave plenty of links in the description box, and then we'll pick it up again if and when need be. But I don't want this to detract from the content, but maybe it's necessary to talk about. So, Cricket, do you have another question for us while we Xenu it? And let's throw in some music because I feel like that was the hard part. So I don't want to just come off like an asshole and throw everybody on the bus. Hopefully that was fair, but yeah, I've never I just wanted to say, guys, like the way I came to this conclusion too, maybe why I'm a little too harsh, is because I had to work through all these people. Because when I got out of Scientology, I thought they were all feeling bad and having the same revelations. We're like, shit, man, I got conned and I act like an asshole. So I should not be an asshole or work on that. So I rarely post it. There's hardly no paper trail of me leaving comments. There's a few here and there, but I literally soaked up everybody's information from Tony Ortega's The Underground blog starting around 2010-ish. Find out that that's a fucking cult. And Tony has the heart of a vampire. He just wants the story, man. He's got no soul, dude. And he'll fucking throw people under the bus. I learned that back in 2010. I've had a falling out with him too. And also I don't throw the baby out with bathwater because fortunately or unfortunately, he reports on it every day. He does do excellent reporting and he has some good qualities too. He's done a lot of service in his 20 years. And I don't think with one comment from Aaron, you could just dismiss that man's work. Again, there's a middle area, but I learned about Tony Ortega. Then I showed you, that Dianetics that I just showed you, that's Marisa Sigmond, and she's interviewed on the channel, by the way. And I have a feeling, I hope she's a good friend, man, and hopefully she'll come on and talk about some of this shit together. But she's doing a fine job on her own. Damn it, I knew there was going to be too many Xenus where I got off track. I completely forgot what I was saying. Anyways, this has been covered to death. Have we made a statement on it, and are we done? Okay, I'm sorry, if the thought comes back to me, I'll jump on it, but I completely lost track. So Marisa Sigmond and other people, you can go check out their channels if you want to carry on with that. Hopefully we can get her on if we need to talk more about this. And that didn't work, guys. I was trying to trigger back what I was going to say. Fuck, man. I guess we're going to probably wind down the show in about a half hour because you guys got me too fucked up. Mike, how you doing? Doug, I've been rewatching your first 2 seasons, so full of information. Are you planning on breaking down more tech? Yes. More tech in the way of, I think me and Marilyn Honig, Coffee Colts, will be able to do more of the tech part. And then in season 3, which I am working on, it's just been very challenging, my friend. I had to go back and re-edit those 2 seasons and re-edit all the videos, re-upload everything, because this is channel number 4. So just getting everything back up there happened recently. That's been a lot of work. And then I am working on season 3 finally. And there's tons of tech, and that's the deprogramming season. Talking about the very thing we just talked about, man. Like, if you're an asshole and a sociopath in Scientology, short of going through some kind of process, you're probably going to be an asshole and a sociopath on the outside. Anyways, so again, we've covered Karen De La Carriere on the show as well. And she uses OSA-type tactics, pays people off, and has the media in her pocket. I'll link this in the description box, where she's talking about a particular kind of tech, because she still thinks like a Scientologist, like all these people do to varying degrees. She's talking about how she does like dribble tech. This is too long, and she's impossible to listen to for 15 minutes, but I'll link this in the description box. And again, plenty of links, hopefully, so you can deep dive on all this bullshit, so you won't have to talk about it too much. Okay, Janet, how's it going with you and your mom? Doug, thanks for asking, Janet. I hope better all the time. It is. In fact, I mean, it's kind of personal, but I'll just, without being specific, I'll give you the broad strokes. So it's getting better and better, and I think that we will actually meet up. See, here's the thing. My mom told me that let me back up. Right before my dad died, he died in March of this year. I have to go through, if I want to talk to my parents, I can't talk to them on the phone, but I can email them, and only if it's something to do with business. So that's been our relationship for since I got out, since about 2010. So about 13 years. I haven't seen my family. I haven't talked to them on the phone, except maybe once in a blue moon. And then it would be just once in a while emailing them, and it always has to go through mom. So about a year ago, I guess I accidentally emailed dad, and he wrote back this really nasty message. You threatened to kill me. You're a suppressive person. Why are you contacting us? Basically, fuck off. And I was like, wow, my dad's never actually said that I'm a suppressive person. I've never heard him so angry. I threatened to kill him when I was super angry around 2012. That's almost a decade ago. I don't feel that way at all. And so I wrote back to my dad. And this is the best resolve that could have happened because a few months after this, he passed. And I also didn't know he was suffering when he said this, so he probably didn't even really mean this, because I never heard him act like that. And wow, it fucking hurt. Normally the old Doug, the public member, non-Sea Org, but still sociopathic Doug, would have said, fuck you, dad, carry on the controversy. You never take responsibility for Scientology, on and on, right? But because they forced me to heal myself, because they ain't going to be around to help me out, it would have been a lot faster process if they got out too. We could have done the healing together. It just took longer because I was going to lose my parents, so I had to kill them off in my mind. So I already did all the self-healing, man. So Scientology is not an issue anymore with my family or my mom. Or my dad, but I didn't realize that. So when he said all that shit, I said, Dad, I wrote him back. I said, sorry, I'll go through mom now. That was years ago. I'm really sorry for threatening your and mom's life. You're in no danger. Believe it or not, I have changed, and I don't care about Scientology anymore. I just love you. And disconnection, because he disconnected from me in the letter, even though we've technically been disconnected forever, but he said it for the first time. And I said, disconnection only means something in Scientology. So you're the only father I have. You'll always be my father, and I fucking love you. And what I got back from him, the best that I could get, and it was good, is I accept your apology or something. Again, it was, for him to take responsibility. He can't do it. So he said, I accept your apology. And he says, I always wished you well. Love, Dad. Something like that. It was good. It was the best I could hope for my dad. So because of that, when my dad passed, me and my mom have started actually talking on the phone and having real conversations, nothing to do about Scientology, just a little bit that she brought up, but I don't want to push it and I don't care. Just in the last few months. So she has gone through a little bit of a change. I call it a state of grace. She sounds different. She's hurting and she's thinking about things I think that you would only think about if you know your time might be coming up too. So long story short, because we've covered it previously, me and my mom's relationship is building better and better. She wants to go slowly. She asked me the other day, I have a little bit of fear and all this. Maybe I could come to your apartment briefly and say hi, and then we'll just go in baby steps. Maybe you can come back to the house and pick up some of Dad's clothes because she wants to give me some of his clothes and stuff. So she wants to take it slow, and she's still afraid of me a little bit and trepidatious, which I totally understand. So I just left her a message and she loved it. And I just said, Mom, I totally understand, on your own time. I just want to let you know I don't care about Scientology. We don't have to talk about it. I want to enjoy you for the however much time you're with me. You're here and I'm so fucking happy. And she said the same thing, that we're actually communicating. She loves it. I love it. We're both blown away and we're both taking baby steps. And I'm not forcing her in any way. And I'm sure that I will fucking, Jesus Christ, I just thought about this, man. I'm not even sure I could stand it, or how I'm going to handle it. But I haven't seen my mom in over a decade. So, except for one very brief time, that was for about 30 minutes, I haven't seen my mom for at least a decade. So if and when she does show up at the apartment, I'm going to cry like a fucking baby. So thank you for that, Janet. You have another one to pop off there, Cricket, by any chance? JD from Philly, what's going down, sir? Doug, first time writing a comment. Welcome. You're always killing it. Oh, thanks, man. Proud of your hard work and dedication. I really appreciate that, my friend. It's comments like that make me want to keep going, dude. Thank you. I appreciate that. And if you're not a dude, thank you, ma'am. Hit me with the next one. Cricket's on the ball. All right, thanks. Jalov SWAT, how are you? Someone needs to write a song based on Petula Clark's Downtown called Downtown. Downtown called Downtown. I see what you did there, my friend. Thank you. That actually deserves a Xenu. As we're wrapping down, guys, shall we partake? Again, it's almost like we're reading our minds, Cricket and Peace Dog. There's definitely some OT metaphysical powers going on here. Did you see the flow roll in here, guys? Seriously, last time, this is going to pull me back into Scientology because I think I'm actually starting to revert and believe in this shit. Last time, right when I hit the pipe, the fucking light, just freaked out. I'm totally joking, by the way. I can already hear people going, I knew Doug was an indie Scientologist. He's a fraud. God damn it, he fell off the pedestal. He wasn't this perfect being that I thought he was. Oh, thanks, man. Let me pull up that comment here. Let me speak in the actual microphone. Just wanted to say thank you to this person here real quick, Cricket. Oh, you guys are saying some awesome shit about the mom, man. Thank you. It's amazing. My mom, I fucking feel so bad for her. They were together for 50 years. That was her best mate, and they loved each other. I didn't have a chance breaking their reality. Once Pops brought in Scientology, my mom had to kind of take to it. I explained it all in the series, but they just had this black sheep, completely different weirdo, very, very angry. That's why I can relate to anger and Aaron's anger and other Scientologists' anger, because there was nobody more angry and fucking selfish than me. I'm not kidding when I say that, by the way. That's why I'm saying it had a huge effect on me. And my mom's like, you've changed? What the fuck are you talking about? Are you going to fucking kill me? Seriously, guys, I was like a different person. A lot, if not all, that anger, of course, I realized after I got out of the cult and away from my family, was being crushed as an artist. My true self could never come out, and I subconsciously sussed Scientology was horseshit. There's something bad going on in my family. It's like walking on eggshells, and I was trapped both within my family, and then I ran to the cult, which they led me into, and I got trapped too. So that's where my anger and my emotions were coming from. And that's why I didn't kill myself. And I was like, if I see this through, I actually do have a heart. I actually do care. Holy shit, there's all these feelings I've never felt before where I'm definitely not totally damaged goods. So the more I kept going with that, I mean, that was the hardest part to deal with, by the way, my friends, is these things called emotions, because they came flooding back with the trauma memories. And it was an overload. I could barely take it. But that's, again, why I'd say that it's the path of least resistance to not really decompress from Scientology or the Sea Org or staff or anything, because it fucking hurts and it's hard to do. And you might, if you are true to yourself and your family's in Scientology, which is a lot of people's situation, you might have to compromise your own identity to bullshit around your parents to keep them. But my situation was, no, dude, I'm mad at Hubbard. Like, I'm not going to sacrifice anything for this. So, you know, I did lose my family and everything. And I guess everybody's experience is different when they get out. Amy, how are you? Would DM, is that Danny Masterson or David Miscavige? Would DM think a disgruntled ex-OTA could audit out BTs with instructions or a mission to attach to DM? Amy, I saw that at the beginning of this conversation. I didn't quite understand it when I was sober before we went live, and I really don't understand it now, but let me see if I can take some way of deciphering this. I almost know what you're asking, but it didn't register. And like I said, I'm 10 times higher than when we started the stream. So let me see. Really want to fuck with my brain tonight, don't you, Amy? So would DM, so is it David or Danny? So would DM think a disgruntled ex-OT8, like who are you talking about, could audit out BTs with instructions? Amy, this is way too much of a brain teaser. Cricket, please move on to the next one. Amy, if you can reframe that, Cricket will keep an eye out, but I can't even begin to make sense of that. Sorry, man. I want BASP. Fair enough. If I knew what that was, I'd give it to you, sir. I had an argument with my BTs today. They stopped talking to me. Now I'm lonely. Hey, man, be glad they stopped talking to you, because I know it's funny and I joke about it too. But those motherfuckers literally were talking to me when I was on OT3 and I was under a fantastic delusion of my imagination becoming real, where I was hearing body thetans. It caused me to have a nervous breakdown, my first ever real psychotic break. I mean, I never even knew what the hell that was like by being on OT3. And that happened here in Los Angeles outside of their advanced organization. And yeah, it's funny, man. Thank God I don't hear any more BTs. They were all in my imagination anyways. But God damn it, when I believe that, it's a good thing that they stopped talking to you, and you shouldn't feel lonely. Be thankful. Cricket, hit me with the next one. We're on a roll. Thanks for that question. Excellent. Oh, hey, Amy. Send my. See, you're already confusing me. What does that mean? Bad BTs to leave me and stick to Miscavige. Cricket, can you fucking decipher that? Because Amy, either you're drunker and stoned than I am, or I'm super stoned and I'm not seeing the obvious that the audience is seeing. I still don't understand that. Can you make it clear? Send my. Bad BTs to leave me and stick to Miscavige. I feel like you're just trolling me, Amy. Cricket, hit me with the next one. Okay, Cricket's going to take it. Yes, she's asking if she can send her bad BTs to stick to Miscavige. Okay, yes, of course you can. You don't need my permission to do so. By the way, Amy, Miscavige has a grounding rod at Gold Base where if people are suppressive enough around him, and he thinks everybody's a suppressive, especially those that get closest to him, you know, those that get closest to power or a psychopath are going to go down the hardest and fastest. So when he has suppressives around him, he knows that they're filled with body thetans, and he has these suppressives hold on to a rod that's grounded into the dirt at Gold Base to discharge the BTs. That's also proof that David Miscavige, while he changes the tech and does all sorts of things that the indie Scientologists would say, see, it was good until David Miscavige came along. Hubbard was great because he did fuck a lot of shit up and change a lot of shit. So you'd think he can't believe in this, but he obviously believes in it enough where even though he doesn't do much auditing or training at all, he's just busy being a tyrant and applying policy and handling the court cases mostly. Like it's not really going up the bridge or whatever. He's what you call a dilettante with that particular part of the tech. He still believes in it because he's having suppressive like render and shit, you know, when he was at the goal base, ground his ass. Fun little tidbit. Cricket, fire away with the next one, please. Thank you, Amy. Sorry for not deciphering that. So we'll go for like 15 more minutes and then we'll roll out with the Xenu and call it a night. But hopefully you guys got your questions answered. And if not, please fire them out now. If anything that we missed, Cricket, you know, overall, if you keep an eye out, we can pop up 3 or 4 questions that you feel are important. Ben, how are you doing? Have you ever had the chance to play with an e-meter in private just to try to make a rock slam or whatever? Did you buy your own e-meter? Where is it now? Okay, yes, I had 2 e-meters because they make you buy one for the auditing. And when you become a solo auditor, or even if you're training to be an auditor, you have to have 2 because if you can never have the thing fuck up during a session. So if it fucks up or for some reason it goes bad, you have to have a second meter because they're so serious about this auditing that let's say you're going down using your creative imagination down the time track, i.e. let's say you're stuck into a past life, you're 3 hours deep in your auditing session and the fucking e-meter stops working. According to Scientology perfectionist tech, you might as well kill the pre-clear, right? That's something that can never happen. So you always have to have a second e-meter. They were $5,000 a pop and I had 2 of these fucking things. So that's $10,000 just on the e-meter. By the way, funny little story about selling it. When I got out, I was so broke. I burned all my Scientology material in 2 large trash bins, which I wish I didn't do, but it was like a ceremony and it felt great just literally getting the tech out of my house. And I held onto the e-meter because I wanted to sell the fucking thing. I'd only got like $300 for it when I paid like $5,000. I sold it to an indie Scientologist and I promoted it on Craigslist. And you have to be so careful about meeting up with another, like you're never supposed to sell these things really. And it was sort of the sneaky deal where I was hoping the person that agreed to buy it wasn't going to ask too many questions because they couldn't buy it from a suppressive person, someone probably only in the church or at least an indie. Those would be the only people reaching out to me. So I'm going to meet another Scientologist when I sell this thing to some degree. So she asked me like about that, or which, you know, feeling me out. Or were you in the church? Why are you selling this? Yeah, you know, I was an OT and I'm just taking a break and I made up some bullshit. You know, I don't really need it or whatever. I don't think she bought the story, but she wanted the fucking e-meter. So I ended up selling that off, burning all my LRH shit in a ceremony in the back of my apartment in 2 trash cans. It might have been more than that because there was just tons of shit. And then, no, I mean, I played with it. I had it privately at my house because I was auditing. I could have played with it. I did actually a few times. Yes, I did. But I wasn't trying to make rock slams. I would just sit there. I mean, shit, you were never supposed to do this. So you're not supposed to really fuck around with it. Only under church rules and at the church. But yeah, there was times when I'd pick it up and try to run processes on myself. Like, let me think of how to get an acting job. And then I would just sit there and just maybe send BTs out. I don't know. I did do some funky shit with that at my house. But I always felt bad for doing that. Didn't do it too much. And in terms of learning how to make rock slams and floating needles, they have a device that makes all those reads exactly like it's a button board that you press. We covered it in, I think, season 2, episode 8 on the series, where you can see the buttons they press that make the reads automatically on the e-meter. So we know exactly what they look like thanks to David Miscavige's brilliant, you know, tech innovation. This wasn't around when Hubbard was. So anyways, I hope that answers that question, Ben. Cricket on a ball. Thanks, my friend. Keyboard Thetan. Oh my God. Yeah, I guess hashtag keyboard warrior is going to go everywhere. But again, I could see from Mike's position, I just think he was talking about people trolling and shit. But yeah, I'm not going to. Of course, that's already stuck in people's heads. So there's going to be merch and everything, right? I noticed a lot of Cricket. Okay, keyboard Thetan. So yeah, but hey, I see what you did there. You're already going one higher, one level up than keyboard warrior. Maybe we could create a bridge of different levels based on Mike Grinder's infamous keyboard warrior statement that is now burned in the heads of the entire SPTV community and the watchers. I've noticed a lot of SPTV creators have removed the logo from their videos. Is that connected to this week's drama? If they are keyboard, yeah, of course it would be. I personally don't care one way or the other to remove it because as we talked about at the beginning of the stream, if you're just joining us, Keyboard, we did talk about this. And Kelli Copter, and I'm going to link her video in the description box, explain this beautifully at the beginning of her video today on the subject. It's not a group. There's nothing to sign. There's no forms. It's simply anybody that is an ex-Scientologist that wants to share their story, whether you were in for 2 summers like a prostate Alex or Mike Rinder where you were the head of OSA. Anybody can use that. There's no group. We're individuals. And despite apostate Alex wanting to take over and be the new guy and make everybody under his united new cult, and what others are trying to do, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just joking, kind of. So, but see what happens when you guys get me high? I start popping off, man. But again, stay tuned. Anyway, so the crickets like losing their mind in the backstage. Okay, but anyways, where was I? So yeah, it's not a cult, man. It's not a group. I don't promote it everywhere. It's a great way to, like, at the outro that you'll see tonight, I think it'll say SPTV podcast. To me, it's never represented a cult. I don't need to scrub all the videos, but I never use that all the SPTV bullshit at the beginning anyway. So not much to scrub. But, that's never been explained, though. So that's a good question. Like Kelli Copter, like we creators, Aaron, we all understand that. But a lot of people have messaged me going, dude, you really need to take this shit off. The shit's about to hit the fan. Honestly, guys, it's been stated, but not everybody's heard it. It really is it's anybody's logo, anybody at all. Like somebody that we don't know that, just pops out of the woodwork. They can come out tomorrow. They're an ex-Scientologist to whatever degree. They can use the SPTV logo, and it doesn't mean they're a part of some new group. They're just a Scientologist talking out in this genre, is what Kelli Copter, I think, rightly called it. Okay, you already got the next one. Damn, Cricket, you're fucking fast tonight. I want BASP. Does it surprise you that the drama between fans is as bad as it is? No, that's why I entitled this one SPTV Cult Edition, because it itself is a cult. You got the celebrity cult gurus, which are the Rinders to never question, the Aarons and shit and stuff. And then you got the followers that have a parasocial relationship with the celebrities who should be questioned rather than giving a free pass, like we talked about earlier. Oh yeah, the head of OSA, who fucked up endless people's lives and know where all the bodies are buried and covered up everything, or at least had a know about that, is all of a sudden the good guy and a hero wearing the smart suit. So like I'm saying, it's got, like any cult, you got the celebrities and shit that nobody questions. The followers get all cut up in shit. They start bowing down. And like I said, that's why I've always been on the outskirts. I had to work through each layer, starting from 2010, getting burned by Tony Ortega, finding out Karen De La Carriera, Jeffrey Augustine, who I went to their dinner thinking they were amazing, turned out to be full of shit. And I've gone down all the list of all the people. So, I could do a whole channel like Zero Dark Tony and just pick a new person each week, but I don't want to tear people apart. That's not the theme of the content. My motivation in talking about this stuff is just to speak the truth and to get rid of some of the bullshit so we can actually get to Scientology rather than turn it into a parody. So it doesn't surprise me. That's why I said I called it the SPTV Cult Edition. But we're going to decult it, man. And Alex, you're not going to take it over and tell us what to do, goddammit. You did 2 summers. Oh my God, this guy. Okay. Paula, Alex, where are you, goddammit? I know you're watching. And if he pops in, please, Cricket. He won't, though. He ain't. If he does, though, let me know. Paula, question. Were all auditors hostile? No, some were loving and really cool, man. The guy I had, his name was Wayne. He was a good man who was trapped. He was short. He had a birth defect on his face, and he wasn't a very attractive guy. And without even knowing his story, Scientology offered him a power and a self-esteem that he could have never hoped to get in the real world. That's why a lot of geeks and power-hungry freaks and people that are lacking something kind of obviously would join something like Scientology. And Sea Orgs, man, they were all geeks and shit. That was what was weird about it. Like, I don't know, man. It's like the first thing I noticed when I went to the mission, and especially when I saw the Sea Org people, I was like, these guys are making up for some like self-deficiency, because what he's selling you in Scientology is, it doesn't matter if you don't have any gifts or abilities. You just go this path and you can have these abilities that like no human has ever done before. And it's all simple. It doesn't matter who you are, anybody can do it. It looks so stupid looking back at it, but they weren't all hostile, but almost all of the people in Scientology, at least that were staff and Sea Org, if they weren't hostile, they were power tripping or making up for a deficiency because they were geeks. I don't know any other way to say it. I am a geek myself, actually, at heart. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but that's the first thing I noticed when I went into the mission when I was 9 years old is these people don't look right. It was like the Stepford Wives, and even their physicality looked off because the mind control, I understand now, was affecting them physically too. So, yeah, I think a lot of people that there's also dreamers. That's not to say everybody's dumb and unintelligent. It's a variety of things, but so I've met some of the nicest people, including my auditor Wayne, that were not like that. Cricket, hit with the next one, please. Nasty, what's going down? And I got your message, dude. I just been too damn busy. We've been playing a little bit of tag. I'll text you back, dude. Doug, everything you do is filled with brilliance. Stop now. I feel like you're love bombing me. Okay, dude, I take that back. We're never hanging out. It's a trap. No, I'm just kidding. If you guys don't, I'm fucking with you, Nasty. If you guys don't know who Nasty Nathaniel is, he's an auditor and not the fake one that holds the soup cans and hypnotizes people with implanted false memories. He's an auditor where he goes around and has been for years, very confidently and non-confrontational, kind of the opposite of Angry Gay Pope, but they each have their own style. And he just audits them and sees if they're pass or if they don't. And I don't know, bro. As I told you before, Nasty, I was watching your videos when I was deprogramming and shaking in the corner about all this, and I was never going to speak out about it. It was just an accident that it happened anyways. But that's why that's what motivates me, Nasty, to kind of do videos today, because of all the people like you that were doing it to help people like me. And you never even knew about me yet. I was watching you the whole time, and I really appreciate all the videos and shit. And he still does them today. When's the next one coming out, my man? Melanie, how are you? Question. Doug, do you know the guy that does the Scientology Audit channel? I don't. This is a perfect place to end off. There's always a synchronistic stoner, like OT, like I said, metaphysical power happening in the room with the viewers, where it all just kind of works out perfectly. Because I actually have the Scientology Audit guy, which we talked about in the video earlier today, here at the very end to show you guys, because I wanted to know if you guys knew who this guy was. So we'll talk about him in a minute, because he's a new guy that came onto the scene. He's very interesting, and he does what Nasty does, audits. Perhaps Nasty, you, me, and this guy, his name's William, and he does Scientology audits. Again, link in the description box, and it's linked in the previous video. This guy's fucking cool, man. And I've never seen anybody quite like this auditing Scientologists, and he saved a lot of people here on Hollywood Boulevard from getting roped into their test center. I'm going to show you some of that. Everybody take a Xenu. Cricket, if you're able to, you can throw it up. If not, it's all good. We get the gist. And we'll just leave it on that, Cricket. Like, that's the perfect comment to roll off with. So let me show you what she just brought up. Do you guys already have seen the Aftermath Foundation video, right? I don't need to bore you and go back into the bullshit. One, if you've already seen Claire with a gun being held to her head, making a statement the day after all this shit happened or whatever. If you want to see it. Two, if you want to skip that, hopefully, and you've already seen it, and we can just go into the Scientology audit. Everybody just fucking saying, fuck it, dude, Xenu. Okay, Xenu, but while we're Xenuing, again, one, play it, two, skip the fucking thing and get onto the Scientology audit guy. You bastards, you're just saying one. Okay, there we go. I don't want to influence the vote, though. We got half two, half one. The next one would, okay, we got some twos. I feel like I influenced the vote, though, but thank God, guys, we can skip that stupid bullshit and get to the real man himself. This is William, new on the scene. I definitely want to interview this guy if anybody wants to reach out to him, because I'm too lazy and shit to reach out to people. But I'd love to talk to this guy. This is the one he just put up today. I'm going to turn off the music here. So we'll end off with this new gentleman on the scene who is literally saving lives. And check this. And he's always, I linked it in the last video, my friends, but I wanted to let you know that we covered what to expect during audits when a prostate Alex was, pimping out at the IES one in England. And I used him as the most aggressive auditor. And then we worked our way up to like Laura FM, who was like trying to use peace and love and shit. And at the time, he was super aggressive and he was brand new on the scene just a couple months ago, but he's not afraid of these guys. And it was intense. And since then, he's totally honed his craft. And anyways, I'm just really impressed by this guy. Like, he has videos galore now. And every other day, he's just showing up. This shows you that you can do something about it. You want to know how to keep people out of Scientology? I mean, if you got the time, I mean, this guy shows up all the time and just for an hour, whatever, and just gets people out of Scientology. Probably saves like 5 lives a day when you watch each of his videos. He takes on the LAPD. He's kind of getting in with the security guards. I think they kind of find him charming. This guy's just really good. Enough rambling. Play the goddamn video, Doug. Jesus.
The Scientology. Come over here to the Scientology Center. I've been seeing you. I'm gonna tell you. I've been seeing a lot of videos of you defending Scientology. I have. I saw somebody pull up in front of the Scientology Center, and you immediately, he was filming, and you immediately walked up to him and asked him for his name.
Okay, this might not be the best one to show you. So this is a good video because it's showing the LAPD intimidating. He's calling out the LAPD here, but I'm going to actually find another video where hopefully you can see some of what I just described. But I'll link a couple of this guy's videos as well as his channel in the description box. But watch this for a minute while I find something else of this guy's.
What's up? What's your name? Why does it matter? No, I don't want to give it to you.
I thought that was odd.
Which building?
The main building.
The blue one?
Yeah, the blue one.
That guy, I had to go there for another reason. That guy was actually walking, I think
You had to know his name? What did you have to know his name for?
I think I said hi to him because he wanted to.
I saw the video. He said, you said to him, what's your name? You asked him, what's his
Tell you what, I'll 1.5 it, but you can, wow, is this sketchy or what? This is an interesting video, but I want to show you what else he's got real quick.
What his name was.
I think and
then you said,
friendly, though?
I mean, I don't know. It's not about friendliness. No, it's
trust me. We were walking together.
The law's the law.
I tried to make it as casual.
I don't know.
I'd love to watch it because if I did something,
I will tell you what. I will literally send you an email with the link.
Yeah, and if I did something wrong,
what's your
38074. If I made a mistake, I'll own it 100%.
All right. Listen, I have my beef against these guys.
I know.
Yeah. And totally have the LAPD in their pocket. We've covered that extensively on the channel. No need to be a fucking dead horse. Anyways, here's this dude's channel, man. Scientology Audit. And this guy is a badass. He has nothing on his homepage, but he's gotten up to 3.16K subscribers very quickly. He's got 43 videos, and he's brand new on the scene. Again, I'd love to talk to this guy. So let's watch one of them. So Scientology recruiting disruption, making Scientologist recruitment difficult. See, this is what this guy does. Teens deter Scientologist recruitment. Scientologists call cops on me. Let's watch this one. Here's him getting kids away from fucking Scientology that we're going to get roped in. God bless this man.
You guys want to go in there?
What?
You going in there?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
What is it?
Scientology. You never heard of Scientology?
Oh, fuck no.
Hell no, right?
You're the fucking dude on TikTok?
Yeah.
I know you.
Keep your boy out of there. Don't.
It's hilarious. Did you hear that? Oh, hell no. Fuck that. This is Scientology. Yo, you the boy on TikTok? Like, this guy's famous, and like the kid's response is hilarious. But they were going to walk in there.
You guys want to go in there?
What?
You going in there?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
What is it?
Scientology. You never heard of Scientology?
Oh, fuck no.
Hell no, right?
You're the fucking dude on TikTok?
Yeah.
I know you.
Keep your boy out of there. Don't give your name.
Hey,
they get your DNA. You don't want it.
Hey, you're the dude that tries to stop everybody from going in there?
Yeah, I try to stop you from going in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, this guy rules, man.
Some
I'll follow you.
So what?
Some hand sanitizer. What's his name?
I mean, they do have hand sanitizer. Look at him. Prince is the white prince. He does look like the white prince, right? They go sassy.
I'm going behind enemy lines. Wait, what's his name?
Streets LA.
Hey, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, don't do it. Exactly. No, it's a cult. It's a cult. It's a sect.
Now he's got the fucking kids warning people. This guy just started his own little cult / group right here, getting people to not walk in there. This guy rules. This is just one video. I mean, each of them is really good.
It's a sector. There you go. Nope. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. You thought you had him, huh? The community stopped you. That's right.
That's my boy. I'm gonna get a picture.
Yeah. You thought you had him, huh? You never want to sign up. You end up wearing those shoes. Look how big those shoes are. Look how they clunk around. They're just shifting around.
This is like a
And so he can't.
Matrix shit, right?
Man, it's crazy. It's all everything's crazy.
What's your TikTok?
Okay, anyways, guys, that's so good, right? I could literally just sit here and watch videos from this dude all night with you guys. But let me just play one other clip that might look interesting, and but definitely subscribe to this dude's channel. I got to talk to this guy too, man, if he wants to come on. Scientology bus cut. You guys want to see the very intense one at the very beginning? Because not everybody necessarily saw it. Is it up here? Let's see. I don't think so. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is a super aggressive one, but man, has he honed his skills. And even this one just put him on notice that, yo, dude, I am simply not afraid of you. So we'll end off with this. And again, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully we covered enough to, I don't know, satiate whatever the hell we were trying to cover tonight. I'm so stoned, I don't even remember. Here we go. Check this dude out.
Look at all the Sea Org weirdos. Look at these weird people. You guys are in a cult. Don't look away. You guys are in such a cult. Where's Danny Masterson at this morning, huh? This is what you guys signed up for with your billion-year contract? You guys signed a billion-year contract. What type of dumb shit is that? Did you ever look at L. Ron Hubbard? See how they cross the street just to go around me? Look at you. They just got off the bus. Look at them. Tell me this isn't a cult. Where's Danny and where's Shelly? Has anyone seen Shelly? Not a single person has seen Shelly. Not a single person has seen Shelly. Again? Mind your business.
That's Frank, the infamous security guard that Nasty Nathaniel and all the other auditors will know. And there he is aging, and bam, this fucking new auditor got the infamous Frank back on camera. Check this shit out.
Mind your business.
What is your problem
Mind
again?
your business.
I'm talking
You know
to
what
you.
my problem is? Scientologists, and where's Shelly at? Where's Shelly?
Where was that?
Where's Shelly at?
What was that?
Where's Shelly?
I
Yeah.
don't know what you're talking about. Actually,
Look at the Sea Org weirdos. Look at the side. Get out of my way. Don't you get in my face. Don't you get in my face. You touch me, I have a
Frank will throw down, by the way. I couldn't find the video because it's been scrubbed from YouTube. I believe, if anybody can find it, let me know. Where Frank tries to purposely antagonize the older gentleman, and they start throwing blows and shit. Frank kind of kicked his ass, but he wasn't really that good of a fighter, but he will try to get people to swing so he can, press charges and take a few swings himself.
right to defend myself, and I sure as fuck will. Look at all the Sea Org weirdos. Look at them.
All right.
Look at them. Look at all these cult members. What are your families? Every one of your families.
And also, you can see, like, this guy's hardcore. You can see as we finish off here how Frank is trying to bait him into doing something.
Are embarrassed of you. Don't push him into me. I can walk down the street. You don't own this fucking street.
Good idea. You cannot let the block the sidewalk too,
Don't
right?
touch me again.
It's true, by the way, what Cricket really said to me in the private. These kids don't even know who Shelly Miscavige is. You know, they're so in the bubble world and they're so, new. That's kind of before their time to a lot of these people. Not that he shouldn't say that, but it's just interesting. That's a good observation, Cricket. Here's the infamous Frank's nose, a close-up.
Don't touch me again.
All right.
Don't touch me again.
What, are you going to push me or something?
Face.
Are you going to push me?
I'm going to push me. Let's look inside here. Don't touch me again. That's another time I told you don't touch me. Let's look inside of here.
Are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? I want to see it.
Shut your mouth.
I want to see it.
Shut your mouth.
I really want to
Shut
see
your
it.
mouth. Don't get in my face again.
I really want to see it.
No one's scared of you, Scientology.
God, this guy's good, man. I just got to take this back. These need to be made into sound bites. The art. I've never seen anybody like this, man. He's definitely not afraid of these guys.
Let's look inside here. Don't touch me again. That's another time I told you don't touch me. Let's look inside of here.
Are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
One other thing, sorry to interrupt, man, but I really like how this guy he's not harmed any of these people. He's really honed his act where his approach is awesome. And even here, when he's being baited, he's smart enough. He just doesn't fall for it, man. And yet he comes on hard on these guys to put them on notice, in my opinion. I'm going to be around here for a while. You're going to see me more, and I ain't afraid of you guys. Let's get that out of the way on video one, right? Because the way he does it now, they're kind of liking him, and he stole so many people from the Scientologists that are trying to get him in. They have a little game going on where they actually, this dude's going to get some of those Sea Org people out, man.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Shut your mouth.
I want to see it.
Shut your mouth.
I really want to
Shut
see
your
it.
mouth. Don't get in my face again.
I really want to
No
see
one's
it.
scared of you Scientologists.
Oh,
Not
is that
one.
right?
Nobody.
Is that right?
Nobody.
Is that
Nobody.
right?
You want
Is that right?
Where's Danny Masterson at? He's in jail. Why?
Right.
Because you raping ass Scientologists.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go talk to these weirdos.
know you
Let's go
speak
talk to these weirdos.
Yeah.
Let's go talk to these weirdos. Let's go talk to these weirdos.
You know that, right?
Let's talk
You
to these.
spit on me, right?
Get out of my face.
You spit on me.
Get
you
out
know
of my
that, right?
face. You see this? Get out of my face.
You spit on
Get
me,
out of my
right?
face. Get out of my face.
You spit on me,
Get out of
right?
my. You spit on me, right?
Yeah, you
spit on
did.
me. You spit on me,
did.
right? You spit on me,
did.
right?
You
Get
did.
out of my face. Why are you in my face? Get
Get
out of my
alive.
face.
Get it off.
No, you get a life. You're a fucking security guard for Scientology.
Get it off.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Get it off.
Let me tell you something. We reading
Get it off.
18:8. Stop. I'm beginning.
Wow, that was pretty fucking intense. Okay, my friends, I mean, what else can we say? That's the perfect thing to end it with. That's one example of how you don't have to get on the internet, be a YouTube star, sell your soul to Satan a second time as an ex-Scientologist and pimp for wares, merch, and try to be YouTube famous. You can do what this guy humbly does and save lives every fucking day. Sir, I salute you. My friends, thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon, probably tomorrow, as there's more SPTV news to cover. It's just a matter of when to squeeze it in. And we'll leave you out with the hardest outro, but the one that we have to look forward to if we don't screw our brains on and wake the fuck up. Take care, friends. Shit, that was the wrong one. God damn it. The execution was smooth. I hit the timing right finally, and I fucked it up. We haven't run this one for a while. It's the New World Order one. I know, Cricket. What the fuck? She has her head in her hands. Do you guys want to hear Charles Manson, Scientollywood outro, Little Box's outro, L. Ron Hubbard babbling outro, or the New World Order outro? Cast your votes now. Okay, everybody's so stoned, they're not giving us any answers. Well, Little Boxes, shit. Chemist, we have to scratch that one. We just played that in the last video. Yes. Ultra. Come on, guys. NWO, we got a Xenu. Amen. Fuck, that's actually great. Let's hit this while we're taking a poll here. LRH Babbling, we got one vote. Boxes. Guys, it's split, man. We got to see the same thing repeating over and over. There's another NWO, Scientollywood. Okay, the chat went dead. Cricket's trying to private chat me. Or NWO. We're going with NWO. I just have to make sure that I get the right one. Okay, this should be it. Okay, let's try that again, friends. Take two. Let's go full screen here. And action, Kramer. Friends, as always, stay safe, stay sane, and most definitely stay cold free.
Hard physical labor, an intense ideological study are used to break the subject's will. Or is that the truth?